And audio, visual, everything is good. Sounds good. And you can see me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we are live. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
I think so. I don't see the linky link.
All right. So we are live, y'all. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a session of the Golf Club podcast. You guys already know who I am. My name is Will. I am the host of this show. So let's get it live, y'all. Hope you guys are tuning in. We got a great show for you guys. We got a great panel of guests from all around the world, all the way from Florida, Hawaii, and Denver, Colorado. So hope you guys are ready for a great show for you tonight. Don't forget, for everybody tuning in for the very first time, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. For all my supporters out there, all my subscribers, everybody show me some positive feedback. Thank you so much for all the support you guys show me. So we got the live chat going, y'all. So the live chat's always lit every single show. So drop a comment, let me know where you guys from. Drop your thoughts, let me know what you guys think. We got some great topics for you guys tonight. But real quick, before we start the show, show some love and support. Please press that like and subscribe button real quick. Show some love. If you love the content, if you love these guests, and love what we do, thank you so much. But real quick, don't forget, part of this, one of the newest things I've done to my show is I allow people to come on and join us on these conversations. So if you guys are watching this right now, you guys want to be part of this conversation and ask us questions or be part of and share your thoughts on the topics that we discussed tonight. I do have a public Zoom link where you guys can jump on the show. I post them on all my social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on TikTok. So just go to my social media platforms, check out the Zoom link. And if you guys want to be part of the conversation, my only rule is be respectful, respect the host, respect the platform, and respect the guests. As long as you keep it respectful, I'll allow you to jump on it and share your part and be part of the conversation. If you don't, I'm gonna just kick you out. And I do know there's a lot of people out there that do disagree with me. I know there's a lot of ladies out there that want to come from my head. So if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, jump on. And like I said, I'll take some time to listen to you. All right. I know you can be lonely when you're single. I'll listen to you. but you guys all know I'm a part of my platform, all about open dialogue where we can all agree to disagree. Also have some fun. All right, don't forget the super chat donations. All you guys always show me so much love for the super chat financial donations. Thank you so much. So if you guys want to throw a super chat donation tonight, the best way to do it is through a question. So ask a question, drop a comment. Every super chat donation, I'll read it live on the show and give you so much love and give you and give a shout out for giving me the super chat donation. But drop a super chat donation if you can. All the proceeds from my super chat donation will go towards my podcast studio. That's my goal one day, to get my own studio one day. Anyways, without further ado, let's start the show real quick. Let's get it going. And I'll allow the beautiful guests introduce themselves real quick. So ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, introduce yourself. What's your name, age, what do you do, and what is your relationship status? And I guess I'll start off with Karen. Go ahead, Karen. Introduce yourself real quick.
You threw me right into the fire.
Right into the fire. Boom, bam.
Right into the fire. I'm Karen. I am from Miami, Florida. I am 48 years old. I own my own music management company, and I am single, or I heard my daughter say single as a Pringle today.
All right. Nice. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for joining us. And I'm gonna keep it real with you, Karen. You look good for 48-year-old. I don't start out there. I couldn't tell.
Thank you. I'm Latina, so I had a mom and Colombian mom, so you couldn't leave the house without lipstick and taking care of yourself. So pretty much it's a requirement growing up.
No worries. Thank you so much for jumping on, Karen. All right. This is a familiar face. Everybody know who this lady is. Either you know, you don't know, but go ahead, MK Lonnie. Introduce yourself.
Do I have to say how old I am? I mean, my God, that is such a
throw an estimate. Possible.
I'm just gonna say I'm Keilani from Hawaii. In my 40s. Could be early, could be late, you never can tell. Currently dating. And I'm from the island of Oahu.
All right, nice. All right, all the way from Hawaii. All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you for jumping on, MK. And last but not least, my boy, my uncle Alfred. Introduce yourself real quick.
Yo, what up? I'm back at it again. My name's Alfred. I am 29 years old, and I live in Denver, Colorado. Currently, I am single, and I just That I'll just leave it there, single.
Oh, so he's in a situationship or an entanglement, either one. Just by
Oh,
that
yeah.
We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it.
You know what that means. You know what that means.
Wait, are you a Broncos fan?
I didn't watch football like that, but I'll root for them when they win. I mean, they're not doing so hot
Nice.
right now, so I'll root for them when they win.
All right, no worries, no worries. So we got a full panel of guests tonight, and everybody's single. So I'll definitely have all this
Single
social
and
media-
dating.
Yeah,
social media
keep that
information.
straight.
So you
Or a
guys wanna holler?
situationship, as Alfred is in.
Yeah.
If you guys want to holler,
Situationship.
you guys know where to find them. All right, so I guess we'll go right into the show, and I'll start my very first question before I pass it on to you guys. So this is actually a question one of my followers sent me to ask. So I'm gonna start it off with this question. All right, so you guys, we're all in America, we're all in the U.S. Last time I looked at statistics, divorce rate is 50%. The average marriage is about 7 years. So my question to ask you guys, according to in your opinion, why do you believe relationships and marriages are no longer working out today, are failing today? So that's the question that one of my followers asked me, because it's kind of rough right now in America. 50% divorce rate, the average marriage is about 7 years. So their question is, according to you guys, why do you believe that marriages or long-term commitment relationships are failing today in America? And I'll start it off with MK. Go ahead, MK. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts on why marriages are not working these days is because there's too many avenues to cheat. People don't want to stay committed. It's not like before. Like if you think about it, when your grandparents were together, like they were together for many years. I'm sure, my grandparents never divorced. But as time went on and as we evolved in society, there's so many influences from the outside, like especially like with social media, for example. Okay, so say you're married and you're in a relationship, whatever, and then you start like friending people or whatever on Instagram and whatever social media, whatever you're on. Then it's like, oh, then you're getting attention from someone else, and then all of a sudden your husband or your wife is not paying attention to you, and you're just like, okay, and then it just leads down roads that it's like, to me, unsafe. And so like for me, it's like you have to be able, when you're in a relationship or when you're in a marriage, you have to be able to know how to control that. You have to be able to know when to put a stop to it, when it's just all it is attention that you're getting. It's to me, it's like they just want to hit it or whatever it is. It's not real. So people live in unrealistic worlds, even in their own marriage. And so I believe that that's a huge part of it is social media. I believe another huge part of it is women in general being more independent. Like, I don't need a man. Like, how I always talk, that is always my MO. Like I'm not going to depend on a man to take care of me. I'm not going to depend on all of this stuff. So it becomes like a blessing and a curse in disguise, because a lot of women are coming out of that. I'm a housewife. I'm going to stay home and clean and wash and cook, and I'm going to be this submissive person. And I think it's harder for men to get a grip on that. It's kind of intimidating in some ways. And so when women are getting more empowered and are kind of like fighting back, marriages are then failing, people don't want to stay committed to something that they're not, or they're feeling like they're lacking something in the relationship, whether it's sex, whether it's love, whether it's just mentally or emotionally, involved in the relationship, because it takes a compromise. It takes two people, and it takes work every single day. People are just getting too comfortable in what they're in, when there's all these other, like I said, aspects and avenues out there. Like, oh, what? You don't want to pay attention to me, bitch? I got like 10 other people waiting on hand. You know what I mean? It's that whole attitude of like, I can just like flip it like that because you're not doing what I want you to do, or I'm not willing to work for it. Like, people need to work at their relationships. That was a really long answer, but I didn't know how to make
that was a great answer.
No, you
second that. I definitely second that.
You covered everything. Hey, Lonnie, I did want to ask you real quick before I move on to the next person to share their thoughts, because you mentioned about the cheating, right? Do you think people were more loyal back then, or just the difference between today is because social media, cheating is more visible? Back
I
then, they
think
could
that-
hide it a lot better because there was no social media.
Yes, I think that cheating has always been prevalent. I mean, I was cheated on 27 years ago. You know what I mean? I think that
Yeah.
it's always been a thing. I think it just makes it a lot worse now because there's ways of hiding it. Like Instagram, like you can delete your messages, you can vanish your message.
Yeah,
you can,
vanish.
you can,
vanish
you know,
mode.
you can vanish,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
snap a quick dick pic and nobody's gonna know because it's gonna disappear. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Snapchat is just shady. Like I don't have Snapchat because it's just shady as hell. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can get away with stuff so much more easier and hidden than it could before. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even on your
Yeah.
phone, a cell phone. Back then I didn't have a cell phone 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you have a cell phone. You have access to the world with your cell phone. You know, back then you had a house phone. That's it. And a pager. You
Yeah.
had a pager, you know? And so it's becoming so much more easier to cheat because you have all these avenues to cheat and you have all these people that's willing to do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was just my question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today.
See,
All right.
I'm just gonna interject with that. I
Yeah.
agree with her on it's easier to cheat because there's so many more avenues and people take that attention like, oh my God, like they're taking it really to heart. And I'm always like, that's sandcastles they're trying to build you and not the foundation
Exactly.
you have with your partner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But with social media, so in my case, it is so much easier to get caught because I have caught through the social media, through that phone. It has, I'm like, ooh, FBI, hold on, FBI. And I've been able to catch them right then and there, you know? So
True.
it goes both ways. It's like a double-edged sword on that.
But you have to
end.
be a good researcher.
Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're a FBI. My friends call me and they're like, I need you to check this guy out. I'm like, oh, give me 10
CIA.
minutes. I got all of it on him. And I'll get the whole background.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so-
can
yeah.
you can make a little fake profile. You can say that your name is Kimberly and
Exactly.
be like, hi, you know what I mean?
Oh,
You can put a
Alfred, I
little
will
catfish
find out.
pictures.
I
You
will
can
find
catfish
out.
them. Yeah,
I'll
yeah, it's
find
definitely
out.
a thing.
Alfred's coming up as Freddie, you know? It's
You
like,
know what I'm saying? Or
I'll
or
be
my
like,
name
Alfred,
is
what is
John
this, Freddie?
with a long
What's your
John.
face
You know
on
what I'm saying? Like,
no, and there's a lot of fake profiles. There is. And I believe a lot of it is people that's in relationships just trying not to get caught. Because, like, okay, so I'll give you an example. Like I was just told, like I ruined a relationship just because of I'm posting, and the girlfriend is seeing that the boyfriend is liking all of my things, right? Because she knows that's his Instagram, and it's like, to me that's just so silly. But I can see how it's easy to get caught, like you're saying, because you're like, like suddenly this girl pops up and oh my God, it says it right there that he liked her post, and you're like wigging out about it. But you know, there's a lot of people that are not secure and confident enough to know that their person is not going to cheat. Like for me, I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like, whatever, go like her post. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with myself. Like, I have confidence. I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd be like, go ahead. You didn't
I
put,
feel like
you know, put
I'm
something
cool
on
with that too. Like I'm cool if I had a partner, my partner was liking other people's pictures. Like to me, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't flip over it. A lot of other people would, but I think I'm cool with it. Like I'm just.
Well, it's
you know
kind of human nature. I mean, you know what I mean? But now when you're sliding into DMs, now you got something a little different.
That's
yeah,
the
you
issue.
took it to the next level. You just stepped it up.
Now there's a little link. Wait, what's going on?
Yeah. The issue sliding into the DMs, no, but yeah, liking the picture and putting comments, it's like, go ahead, baby, you do it all day long, you know? It doesn't matter.
You know
when you slide into the DM, we have an issue.
Right. Or if you try to, you know, try to bring it into fruition. Like that's
exactly.
Link up, you know what I mean?
You're manifesting that shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Now you about to go have lunch? You about to go have lunch?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Coffee?
No,
wait,
we ain't
what?
doing
You
that.
don't even drink coffee.
No.
We ain't doing all that.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for Lonnie for dropping those bombs. I see some of the comments. Yeah, they're saying they're totally agreeing with you. One of them is say definitely loves you. Has a crush on you. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody that's watching, let me know your comments below. Drop some love, drop some chat. Let me know your thoughts, everything we're discussing. But we'll move on to the next person. Same question, and I'll pass it on to Karen. Karen, to you, same question. Why do you believe relationships are failing today?
I just think it's the society that we're living in. It's so easy, you know, to swipe to the left, make those fake profiles, get on those dating websites, you know, go on social media. And I think it's just a matter, if you're not a strong person and you're getting that little bit of attention, you know, instead of going to your partner and saying, hey, listen, I'm feeling this, or I'm not feeling this from you. Let's sit down, let's talk about this and let's work this out. They think it's easier to get that quick, you know, that quick hit, that quick high of, man, damn, you're so fine, or, you know, whatever they want to say to you, you know. And instead of saying, hold on, this is just a person that's really, you know, what's the difference between me and going to the grocery store and getting that same kind of comment? You know, you have to be realistic about it. So yeah, it's a lot easier now. And people don't want to work. They think the grass is greener on the other side, and they don't want to work on their relationship. I mean, you know, I was a few whatever that I was dating, you know, a few back men that I was dating. We had a small, it wasn't even like a disagreement. It was a misunderstanding. And he was just like, oh, I can't handle it. And I was like, whoa, out the door. And I was like, wait a minute. I just said, this is how I felt. And it was like, no, I'm just going to, you know, swipe to the left to the next person.
So quick to give up. They're so quick to give up.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even worth it. If you were going to give up like this quick, then why were you even talking to me? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why would we do it?
But you just loved me yesterday.
Yeah. You were saying all these things last night.
An hour ago.
Was all up in it.
What?
Yeah. So I just think they don't even want to put in the work. And, you know, and for me, you know, when it's completely different dating in your 40s, you know, I don't know, MK, if you believe in this, I don't know, but dating in your 40s is a completely different, different animal. It's a different ball.
150,000 times million.
What's different? What's different about dating in your 40s?
I just think it's like everyone starts coming more, and I don't want to use the word baggage, but let's just use that word because we all come with baggage.
Yeah, let's keep it real.
Yeah,
we all come with baggage, but how are you gonna be able to carry that baggage? You know, be realistic about it, and then you don't want to. A lot of people, both men and women, they don't want to change their ways. They're too set. They get too comfortable. Listen, for me, it's great. I love. Sometimes I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm on Netflix all by myself. It's a Friday night. I got my pajamas on with my Pringles, and it's great, you know. And no one's telling me, baby, what's for dinner, where are we going, what we doing, what are we watching. I'm great. But then there's other days that, hey, you know what? I do want a partner there. So, you know, I want someone to hold me and love me.
And you know what it is too? It's like you're more established financially, I feel, and you're more established in life, and all this other shit, you're like, you know, like I already been, you know, like my kids are older, like I don't want to deal with like, where were you at 5 o'clock? Like, what? No.
Yes.
You know, it's like I'm grown.
Yeah.
Grown ass woman.
Yeah.
You know, and I own my home. I drive my own car. You know what I mean? And so it becomes harder because, like I said, it's like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because then it's like match my energy. I'm not 25-year-old. I'm this year old. You know, I'm not here to just hit and quit and move along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Yeah. So you know, it just depends. And so even for me, you know, like right now, my situation is it's easier for me, you know, person I'm dating, you know, is long distance, and that's a little bit easier for me because
then you don't have to see them all the time. It's perfect.
I get my Friday nights, and we're like, okay, this is the dates we're going to travel to see each other.
But you can't really build anything with the long distance for something meaningful.
You can and you can't because you can. There's FaceTiming, there's calls.
There's not the same with being physical with somebody.
I think it's easier for women like us because I don't know Karen all that well, but I know I could just tell she's very independent and whatnot. Yeah. It's like you just have it and it's there and there's the companionship and whatnot, but you're still living your life. You're still living it. You're still dreaming every night. You're not washing laundry. You're not cooking dinner. You're not doing all that. So it's like the perfect thing. It's a perfect scenario. I agree.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But Will, at one point we'll have to say, hey, what's up here?
Right. There's going to have to come to some sort of
agreement. Yeah. But it's the early stages, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm with you, Karen. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it from a lot of women over 40 that you know, it does get harder to attract multiple partners, right? You know, because one of the things I have seen is for a lot of women like to date older, and then men like to date younger.
What's up with that?
I think
that's just how it is. That's just how it is.
What is up with that?
We're gonna touch on that.
But I also think that you can attract, but it's not for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can't attract to be in a good relationship, but if you want a fuck boy, that's easy. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? But if you're trying to be in a relationship, then yes, the pickings is slim. Depending on what you're looking for,
right?
You know,
But if you're just ain't nobody on the same mental, nobody.
Everybody wants it.
Exactly. Yeah,
I get hit on 25-year-olds in my DMs. Like, I was going to say,
you know, yes, I get hit on by a lot of like exactly 25, 29, 32, and I'm like, no, honey, I could be your mom. No,
that's what I said.
But I always answer them, I always answer them, I could be your aunt. But inside my head, I'm like, I could have birthed you. No, So
Yeah, exactly.
But
like,
I want that
changing your
intellectual.
diapers. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't understand. Like when I see men with much younger women, I'm like, where is even that? Where does that even go? But that's a different topic that we'll probably get on.
Yeah, that's a whole other question.
Yeah.
Moving
That's a whole
on.
different question.
We're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold that.
Oh,
Right
we
there.
can hold that.
Yeah.
We can hold it. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We gonna touch
Yeah.
back on it.
Yeah. Because I want to hear.
No worries. So, Karen, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. And Alfred, same question. What are your thoughts about relationships going today?
I would say kind of a mesh of what the ladies both said. One, like they're not willing to put the work in, time in. Like nobody's a ride or die no more, and it's so easy for them to walk about the door. Like you know what I mean. Like I feel like when people are so easy to give up, like you already had that in the back of your mind. Like you were already given this relationship maybe 2-3 months at best, and then after that time frame hits, you're like, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. So whatever she say next, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like
you're waiting for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like waiting
You're
for
waiting.
that last line. Oh,
yeah,
that's
you're
the one.
waiting for it. Yep. And that's when you want to blow up and be like, nope, this ain't working because you don't like to wear the same socks. You know what I mean? I can't do that. You know what I mean? And then you make it a big thing so that way you guys be done. So that way you can move on to the next person on your roster.
Yeah.
Now,
on your roster.
You know what I mean?
It's like he has a whole team.
His roster.
Like it is like, because of social media, I feel like it's so much easier to have a roster, like to have,
It is.
you know what I mean? Like you got a plan B, plan C, all the way to plan 25.
All the way to
like,
F, Y, Z.
you know what I mean? Yeah, you already got people lined up ready to fill that spot. You know what I mean? And then like anybody can jump from, part like line in 19th place to like 3rd place, depending on how you feel. Like if you're emotional and you want somebody that tends to your emotion, you can jump that person up in the line and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And because of social media and the kind of content you put out, kind of attracts these certain type of people to slide up in your DMs, you know what I mean? And to be your plan B, plan C and all that. And I feel like that's a really big reason why, let's say personally, like for me in my own life, I've only ever dated once. I've only ever had one boyfriend and we were together for a long time. But after him, like it's hard to find a relationship because nobody's about it. Nobody's willing to put in the work, the effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be a ride or die. Nobody's, you know what I mean? Because like it's so easy. Like I guess we'll touch on this a little bit later too, but I don't like dating. I don't like the whole talking stage. I don't like to know what your favorite color is. Like you know what I mean?
Like I don't give a shit to tell 20 people what my favorite color is.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like what I'm trying to like, do you got a job? Do you have a car? Do you got your own place?
What's your credit score?
Like exactly. You know what I mean? Like I want to jump into that conversation. You know what I mean? And I feel like at this point, that's what the kind of conversation you got to have with people to start a relationship. But as far as having longevity in a relationship, people just give up too easy. It's like it's just too easy. People aren't willing to fight through it. And then outside of that, like say you do find somebody that is willing to fight for it. I feel like some people just kind of drag on relationships. Like somebody, like say a relationship, like let's say this relationship went on for 10 years, but one person isn't happy and the other person is. You know what I mean? And I feel like that one person should have said something in year 2. You know what I mean? To have cut it, than to have dragged it on for 10 years. You know what I mean? Because now you sitting here with 3 kids.
10 years of your life.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Now you exactly. Now you're sitting here feeling some type of way, and then like you don't even know how to speak to your spouse or your significant other or whatever. You know what I mean? About why you want to leave this relationship, why this not working for you. When you should have said something in the first place. You know what I mean?
And the resentment builds up.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it's like we have kids together and now I don't like you. I just can't, I loathe you. You know what I mean? Like I love our kids and I love what we built as far as a family, but
I'm not in love.
This ain't working. You know what I mean? Like, and you could have said that. You could have said that before the 3 kids, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I agree. And I think Alfred also hit the point of when he said in the 2nd or 3rd month. To me, and when I speak to anyone about relationships, that is the magic number where the mask falls off on the 2nd or 3rd month and that's either I'm out the door or we're going to move ahead.
All right. Yeah, thank you for dropping that knowledge. Thank you for dropping your thoughts real quick, Alfred. Real quick before I say my piece, I see there's about 10 people watching and then 2 likes. Y'all gotta get those likes up real quick. And there's 8 people watching. 8 people watching right now, and y'all have to like the video.
I'll flash my titties.
So stop being ninja watchers. Already watching, so show some love of support. Please like this. Please like the video. Let's get the algorithm going. So nevertheless, so the question that we discussed real quick, why relationships are failing, and pretty much everything you guys said, I agree for the most part of it. I think for me, the 3 things that come to my mind real quick is number 1, a lot of social media, a lot of people have unrealistic standards, unrealistic standards, right? So they always want the next best thing instead of just appreciating what they get. Or once they meet somebody good, they don't value that person because in their mind, they feel like there's this sense of loss. They get, we can always get somebody better, right? That's what social media has created. This, everybody has unrealistic standards. Number 2, I think Lonnie, I know MK brought it up. We're moving into a new generation where, women are becoming independent, right? So for me, relationships worked out before when our parents happened. Traditionally it was like, the man was the provider, protector, and then the woman supported him. That's how always has relationships have worked out. But now we're moving into a new generation society where the women are being the provider, protector. So right now we're trying to figure out how that's gonna work. So that's something that's causing a lot of relationships.
And I don't like that. As independent as I am, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like the man to be the masculine in the relationship. I am going to be the feminine woman, but I know there can only be one captain, and I need him to be the captain of the house.
Yes, that's
independent as I am. And I will be there to support him as his woman, but I need him to hold me as my man. And if there is I always say, if there's a decision to be made in the household, and I know some women are going to get on me for this, and only one can make the decision, I need my man to make that decision.
Let's get it.
Wow.
I'm so old-fashioned in that sense, and a lot of people that I date go, wow, I didn't realize that you're that old-fashioned. Again, but it comes back to what my background is, how I was raised,
and what you grew up in, and
how I grew up in, and how my marriage was as well. It was very, I'm Latina, and he was American, and white American, but you would think that he'd be like, I need an independent woman. No, he was also very much into, I am the captain of the ship. And it went good at that point because that's what I grew up with. But I still believe in that. I need my man to be the head of household and the head of the relationship.
And I would extend it this far for you, Karen. Like, I don't believe it's old fashioned. I believe that's what has always worked, right?
Yeah.
Name me a couple right now that the woman is the leader and the breadwinner, and that relationship has lasted forever.
Yeah, well, it's not even about the breadwinner. I may be bringing more to the table.
Oh yeah, but the leader.
Yeah, when it comes
to the one that's the dominant masculine energy and the leader.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that I may not bring more to the table, meaning financially or whatever. Yeah. But when it comes to the masculine, and it doesn't mean that also my voice is not going to be heard, and he's not going to take me into consideration. And we discuss, and we're supported, and we discuss what issues we have together as a couple. But I'm saying at the end of the day, if there's an emergency and I need someone, I'm sitting here melting, which is very rare. I melt and drown in a glass of water. I need him to make that decision and be the man and step up to the plate. Yeah.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, like, every relationship I've seen that lasted forever and they never got divorced, they never separated. It was forever. It was just the man was a masculine man, and then the woman. I've never seen a relationship where the woman was the masculine one, and they lasted for it. It always ended up being the 50% marriages. Divorce rate. But yeah, that was my feedback. Was a lot of women today are not feminine no more, and a lot of men today are not as masculine. So that's causing issues with that dynamic. And number 3, my last piece is, I think one of the biggest problems today, I think you guys all said it about relationships today, is people are pursuing relationships for happiness and for feelings. And for me, I believe that we shouldn't pursue relationships for the purpose of happiness and feelings. we should pursue it for responsibility, for duty, for a need, for a commitment to, in order to need each other to build a family. And the byproduct of that is happiness and romantic feelings. Because if you base your relationship based on feelings and how you feel and your happiness, because you already know this, our feelings go up and down, right? We may be happy today, but we may be not happy tomorrow, or happy next year, or 2 years, or 3 years, or 5 years from now, right? So if you base the whole relationship based on happiness, and of course, you can't really expect somebody to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy.
Exactly. But happiness is you have to create your own happiness.
But I'm saying is a lot of people are dating or getting married to somebody expecting them to make them happy.
Nobody, no. Or
Well,
validation.
But the thing is,
validation.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
You don't need somebody to validate you. You don't need somebody to make you happy.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's what I'm saying is in what I see in America, especially with this new generation, people are looking for relationships for happiness, right?
Exactly.
Looking for somebody to complete them, looking for somebody to complete them. And I tell the people, no, you should be already happy, and you should pursue a relationship for the need to start a family. You know, you guys have the same goals together. You guys want to do the same thing, walk the same path, and if you have and do it for responsibility, for moral duty, you know, for a commitment, companionship. You know, you're doing for something to build a family, to create a legacy. Right. And then when you work on those things and you both have the same goals and dreams and values, and you work on and you put in the work like you guys all said, that byproduct of that is happiness and romance.
Right. Exactly.
Strong feelings.
Yeah.
Right. But if you just base it on happiness, that's why I always hear a lot of people that we outgrew each other. No, you outgrew each other because you based it on happiness. Because when you're committed to somebody, you don't outgrow each other. It's a commitment.
Exactly.
Like we're going this for the long haul. We're never gonna break, you know. But the thing is, if you base on happiness, and you know, happiness is feeble. If you're strong today, but weak tomorrow. I think that's one of the problems today is people are basing their relationships based on happiness feelings instead of basing it on moral responsibility, on duty, and the need and the same needs for each other, that you guys both want the same things in life and both want the same, you know, goals in life, especially when you're building a family and a long-term commitment.
I'm gonna say it's hard to do that. It's hard. It's really hard to like, let's say, you know, let's do this. Like Exhibit A, right? This man is a hardworking man. He provides. He literally has everything that you want to build a successful future, but you just don't like him like that. You know what I mean? Like
because he doesn't make you happy.
Yeah, well, it's not that it doesn't make you happy. Well, I guess let's say that in the end. But you know, like, so what we like nowadays is like people that, you know, understand our jokes, people that, you know, get along with us, people you know what I mean? Like there's people who we meet that end up liking us, but they don't have the building blocks to, you know, grow like a personal relationship with. But you know, at the end of the day, that this person can help you build you up to that level where you need to be stable, to be, you know what I mean? Like, and so, but those kind of people, you kind of like throw them to the side. You know what I mean? Like those are like your back pocket people. You know what I mean?
I'll give you a perfect example, because I hear this a lot from a lot of the younger girls, right? So I would hear, I've heard this from girls where they'll meet a good guy, right? He has good values, good morals, loves God, good, you know, has a job, you know, responsible.
Yeah.
But their complaint was like, you know what, he's boring. Right.
Yeah.
I want to go with the fun guy. I want to go with the guy that's at the club.
Listen, send me the boring men, please.
Right, but like I said, this brings me to my point. They're basing their decision of their partner based on happiness. Yeah. So they went with the guy that made them happy, with the partying and having fun and all those stuff. But they forget that what builds relationships is responsibility, duty, and guys that have to show the work ethic. But like I said, they ditch those guys and go on there have a, you know, mess around. But then later on in life, like, you know, when the time's starting to run out, then now they're looking back, they want to get the good guy, but the good guy's already wifed up. He already found his wife. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think it goes both ways. I think it goes for men and women. I don't think it's just the girls that do that. I think women. I think it's also the men. But yeah, no, I'd rather have the, you know, in my instance, I'm not looking to build a family because I had my children already. I'm looking to start a new family. And obviously the men I'm dating, usually 99.9 of them already come with children, and already children that are, you know, either like in their late teens into their 20s. So, you know, to me, I like that boring. I like that the person who's responsible, the one who, you know, it loves God, the consistency, and is going to be there. And to me, it's huge how the relationship he has with his children is huge. If he's not treating his children right, he's not going to treat you right. And I tell every woman that. And it's just like, you know, you say that a lot less about moms, because more the moms have that instinct, and, you know, we had the children and all that, but you got to always see how that other person treats their children to see how they're going to treat you. So, I mean, yeah, but I agree with you is, you know,
and I would say,
yeah.
And I would say social media has a big part of that, because social media shows this false sense of relationships, having fun, and you know, all these activities that you guys do. And that's what people think what relationships are, but they don't realize relationships is hard work.
No, and it really is.
And
like,
working
I don't
things
know,
together.
Well, I know Will follows me. I don't know that you guys follow me, but like, I'm always having fun. I'm always a big party. I'm always extra, But at the end of the day, I know I'm fucking hard. Like, I am like a hard person to deal with. My friends tell me, I know I'm just a hard person to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I don't mean to be a hard person, but it's just my personality. That's just who I am. So I see what you're saying, like how social media is like, oh, and everybody's like, oh, they all like the idea of me and everything that I am, the funny, the party girl.
They don't want to put the work in.
Just talk shit. But at the end of the day, they don't know the background. Like, I have a master's degree. Like, I have a good job. Like, you know what I mean? All that shit is like a false sense of reality. What's out there on the media is all good and fine, but in the background,
and you walk and talk.
I got my shit together.
Yeah,
I can back it up, you know?
Get it. Yeah.
So, I mean, it is, you are right in that sense. Like, the reality of it is like, it's a false reality, because you're like, oh, this is the girl that I want because she's so fun and she's so this, that. In my world, it's really not that fun though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
like,
one thing I would say is, like, whenever the only time when people today look for those types, the consistent, the responsible man or woman, is when the relationships don't work out or they get older, right? So as they get older, relationships don't work out, then they try to find it. That's why I always tell people on the podcast, when you find that good person, you gotta get with them as soon as possible, right? And so that's something I just noticed, is that, you know, nobody wants the consistent, boring woman or man anymore. Everybody wants them.
Karen's like me in Florida.
I'm like, hey,
you know, you're right. You know, they'll skip those. One thing I've seen a lot of girls, they'll skip those guys in their 20s, but then in their 30s they'll try to get those guys, but those guys are already wised up by then.
Yeah.
So
I didn't skip that in my 20s. That's a whole different.
Oh yeah. You have different situations. Different situations. Yeah. All right. So that was my question. Thank you so much for you guys, and thank you for everybody. Hey, if you guys are watching this right now, let me know your comments. If you guys have something to say, want to be part of these conversations, let me know, and I'll be able to add you guys to the chat real quick. So let me open the question to you guys. That was my question, but I'll allow you guys to ask your first question. So I'll start with the ladies real quick. Karen, what's your first question or topic you want to bring up?
Oh my God, let me pull it up, because I had some people send me some stuff. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to what Alfred said about the 2 to 3 months, because that was one of the questions someone sent me.
Okay.
Why on the 3rd month of the dating mark, does the man freak out, leaves the relationship, and then 99% of the time tries to come back months later? Like, what's the thought into that?
So in my experience, I'm gonna say by the 3rd month, like, you already know, like, tendencies, right? Like the way how they act, and you should know how they react, and like the kind of person they are. Like, if you go to a restaurant, are they a good tipper? Are they a bad tipper? Do they snore? You know what I mean? Like little things, like little things, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. And then you should know at this point if they listen to you or they don't listen to you. So, like, I had a situation where I was talking to somebody, and we had talks from March, April, May. And then by May, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm really feeling this. You know what I mean? And then in June, I had said something, and then we cut it off. But in this 3-month mark, at this point, like, I knew how he was when we slept together, when we woke up, how he would like reach out to me, how he would, like, you know, kind of make me feel and all this stuff, right? And so a lot of it I did like, but a lot of it I red flags, you know what I mean? Red flags here and there, red flags right away, you know what I mean? And then so, like, I was gonna ask this question later, but, like, you know, there's some red flags that I will look at and I'm like, you know what, I can tolerate this. I can tolerate this red flag. I'm just,
They're light pink.
tuck it away. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna tuck this. I'm gonna tuck it away. And then later on, it becomes, something more and more and more. So like, I had told this certain person, I was like, hey, I don't like morning breath. You know what I mean? And then so, our first time we were sleeping together, we woke up together. He was all trying to get up and make out with me. And I was like, I don't like morning breath. But he was like, literally, this is what he said to me. He was like, I don't care. And still try to get at it. And I'm like, in my head, I was like, you're not listening to me. You know what I mean? Like, so red flag right away. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he might have been in the moment and he was just trying to get some. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, right? It's the early morning. But I told you time and time again that I don't like it. And then like you keep, waking up together and you keep trying to kiss me. Like, I told you I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, are you listening to me? Like I feel like at that point, it's like already a turn off. You know what I mean? Because if this something so small, it's going to turn into something big. You know what I mean? So I guess that's like why you should find that out within the third month, right? Like, and then let's say this is like close proximity relationship, like this is somebody who lives in your same city and all that, right? But then like, let's say a long distance relationship, right? And on the third month, you still know their tendencies, as in, they text you good morning, they text you good night, they call you at 2 p.m. or they call you when they get off work, they call you at lunch, you know what I mean? And then when they deviate from the schedule, right?
Then what happens?
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what's not clicking, Steven? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Why are you changing up? Why are you changing up stuff? And then when you change up stuff, immediately that's going to send off a red flag. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be like, and for whatever reason, even if it's a good reason, even if this person is a firefighter and doesn't have a set schedule, you know what I mean? You're going to be like, even I understand you're fighting fires. Why aren't you calling me at 8 p.m.? You know what I mean?
But it takes like literally 2 seconds to say hello. Like, honestly.
Good morning. Yeah.
Like, you can do it when you're taking a shit. Like, honestly, I did a whole TikTok on that. Like, you're never that busy. You're never that busy.
But the second half of the question is, you leave them, but you leave, but then why did the man always come? 99% always tries to come back.
Because they already went to their number 2, number 3, number 4 on the roster.
And it didn't work.
Exactly. And even though that they were this fun person, they weren't stable, or they either had more red flags than number 1, who was up to bat, or they, they weren't coming with that same energy. If they didn't have that same energy as number 1 did, you know what? Number 2, you can go sit back and take a seat, and I'm gonna go back like, you know what? Sorry, what's up? Like, I'm so sorry, I didn't feel. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you go back. That's why you go back.
So basically, when you've been with a Lamborghini, it's hard to get into a Kia, and you want to go back to your Lamborghini.
Yeah,
sort of.
Okay, I'm not gonna say number 1 was Lamborghini. Let's say number 1 was a Kia. Number 2 was a 98 Toyota.
We're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to upgrade you, okay?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then when you go back to the 2018 Kia, you're like, and then come to find out we have a 2020 Challenger. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go with the Challenger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just options, too many options. It's kind of like
Netflix,
problem,
too many options.
HBO Max, you have too many options of what to watch.
Too many options.
Too many options of these dudes you want to get with or people you want to get with. And then like you only like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of the series, whereas you're supposed to like the whole season. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be committed to the season, yet you only want to watch episode 1, 3 minutes of the intro, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's a pretty good explanation.
Yeah. I think Alfred said it best. It's just the modern way of dating, of casual dating. People having multiple options and people having a roster. Most people, let's be honest. Who talks to one person?
Everyone.
Only one person. Let's be honest. Who's talking to one person and only one person? Most people talk to at least 10 people. I say most. Most people.
Let's just say
I'm talking to at least multiple people and trying to figure out who they like, and they have a roster, so like they'll try you out for a couple of 2-3 months. They also talk to other people, and then once they realize what they like, they'll go back to the one person they like. Or
I don't have that kind of energy.
Or
Okay,
for men.
neither do I. Okay. Will, I have to
Don't have
ask
that
you this
confidence.
question.
Yeah.
You date multiple people, so we're gonna call. You
Oh
quantum date.
no, just one.
Oh, you date just one. Okay, but the majority of people date multiple people.
Yeah, that's a culture
Okay.
today. Yeah.
Here's my
I
question.
wouldn't say date.
Are they
I wouldn't
honest?
say date. I say entertain.
But
I think we
say
should
Yeah,
talking,
say
let's
say
say
talking.
that. Let's
You're
say
So
talk.
dating and
Let's
talking.
say
Dating
Yeah.
is
entertain.
exclusive.
Let's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
say
Dating
date
is
because dating you're
exclusive.
sleeping with each other.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're-
Yeah,
well,
dating is
well,
exclusive.
dating
We
and
don't
being in a
call it
relationship is two
dating.
different things, right? Dating and
Right.
being in a relationship, two different
well,
things.
no, not
Dating,
really. I mean,
Dating
dating
is a
just-
dating,
relationship to me. Dating is a
well,
title.
I'm saying for most people,
Dating, you have a title.
if you just go out, you guys
Dating,
a
you have
couple
a
days,
title.
that's
That
I
is
dating.
agree.
talking. If you're just going out to go eat lunch and you go eat
No,
my
going on
baby every
dates.
now
If
and
you go
then,
on dates,
we're just talking.
that's
We're
dating.
just
I
talking.
think that's
That's not
entertaining.
dating.
That's
That's
dating.
dating. If you go on
Dating
That's
dates,
is a
dating.
that's
dating is a
different.
title. Dating is a
No,
title. Dating is
relationship-
No,
relationship
that's
is a title.
exclusivity. That's exclusivity.
That's a
That's
relationship.
to me.
That's a
dating.
relationship.
Yeah, that's a relationship is dating. A relationship equals
No.
dating.
Right.
Because
I agree with Alfred.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
agreeing with
it's
Alfred.
talking.
Wait.
You can talk.
It
You can
is.
talk
Let
and
me-
have
let me-
sex with 10 different people, but they can't get mad at me for talking to all these other people because we're talking. We never made it a
Right.
thing.
Thank
We
you.
made it
Thank you.
official.
It's
Once
like,
you make it
but you're
official,
entertaining other
yeah,
people. You're entertaining
exactly.
other
You
people.
can entertain. You can entertain how many ever
Alright.
people, but once you are dating, now is exclusive. You are my
Thank
man.
you.
I am
I
yours.
agree,
And we
Alfred.
are now doing this is me and you. We are now building something for the future, and we are now gonna get married at
Nice.
some point.
Yeah,
But that's
you're
why
not dating 10 people. That's
Exactly.
See,
entertaining.
to me,
You're
the word
entertaining.
dating is dating and relationship is relationship. So that's in my, I guess,
Oh.
definition
Yeah.
is
We
different.
just have a different
I
definition.
I think we just have
of-
different
Different
definitions.
definitions.
Yeah,
Different
yeah.
definitions. But my question is to Will is we're gonna say dating. We're gonna use their word talking.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you tell
Okay.
that? Do you tell the women that you are dating, talking to, that you are dating and talking to other people?
No.
When I used to do it, when I used to do it, I did it.
No, but see,
You didn't-
I
didn't ask-
roundabout say
if
it.
you didn't
I
ask-
roundabout
if you didn't
tell
ask,
them.
I
You
don't tell
round about it. Oh my God, perfect response.
Well, this
Okay,
is how
my
I do
question
it.
is
You know what I
this:
mean?
but would you get mad if you found out they were roundabouting?
Now, if
I get that.
but if I do or do not, it does not matter. Now, if we are talking or dating, right? Like your sense of dating, if I'm talking to you and I find out that you are talking to somebody else, I might be hurt on the inside, but I have no right to say, hey, I'm
Right.
this. You know what I mean? I have no right until it is
Agreed.
exclusive, until I can say that you are mine and I'm yours. I can feel whatever I want to feel, but I have no right to say that. So will I speak up and be like, that hurts my feelings? No, I will not speak up because I have no right to. You know what I mean? Like
Thank you.
You know what I mean? But I will say though, if we are talking and you're talking to other people, best believe I'm pulling my roster too. Like you might be
Yeah,
you might be up to bat.
That's
But
different. Yeah.
I
Thank
might be
you.
talking to
You're back on the
whoever's on
bench.
deck. You know
You're
what I
back
mean?
on the bench.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
Until
a
we
different
make
story.
this a me and you thing, I can't. Now, let's say a lot of dudes out there don't think the same way, and a lot of
No.
dudes, you know what I mean, are very. Even though they're out here sleeping with multiple people, they're gonna come at you and be like, you know what? That's fucked up. My feelings are hurt. Blah blah blah
Exactly.
blah blah blah. You know what I mean? They make you feel bad because they want to be placed in slot number 1, even
Thank
though
you.
you're their slot number 4.
Thank you. Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's to me, that's some slight, and that's why I don't date. That's why it's
Yeah.
so hard for me to date.
No,
To,
I agree.
like my version of dating, you know what I mean? Like to be exclusive, because it's like, you know what I mean? Like that it's just super hard to date when you got other people options, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like not me, but like the person I'm talking to. If you got other options, like, and then you're so quick to leave this relationship, like why should I commit myself to somebody when you were so quick to leave? You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
guess you, like, you know, back to what you were saying earlier, Karen. You know, month 3, month 4, we gotta get over that hump. We gotta get over that, and then reach month 6, month 7, where we meet each other's families. You know what I mean? Once we meet each other's families, then I'm like, you know what? I think we can now progress into the later stages, But month 2, month 3, Hey, you just the roster. You know,
Yeah.
you on the roster.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I'm sorry. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry. I feel like
Yeah, you did.
For me personally, like I don't know how people do that. Talking to multiple people. You know, for me, like I mean, I have so much time and energy in my day because I'm trying to do what I gotta do. I don't know how. For me personally, like I've seen people talk to 8-10 people, but I was like, dang, how do you do that? Because like
Yeah,
that's a lot of time and energy. That's
it's
a lot of time and
hard.
energy.
Exactly. It's hard. It's like my situation is a long distance situation. Yes, I say I'm single because until he and we've agreed to only date each other, but until he claims me, you know, I'm gonna say I'm single.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though we've agreed, you don't date anyone else, I don't date anyone else. We're gonna try to move this forward and see if it works because it's a little bit different. It's a long distance thing, but my title's gonna be single.
She said, if you're checking the box single on your tax forms, on all your forms where it says, "Are you single?" She's checking the single box.
I'm checking it off. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go.
There's only certain options on there: divorced, separated, married, or single. What one are you checking?
Exactly. It doesn't mean I'm gonna go out and date other people.
Right. Exactly.
You know, but yeah.
Like how he said, dating exclusive.
Yeah.
Yo, so just to make it clear, I know Alfred, you talk to multiple people, right?
That's hard.
No.
Okay.
He's not dating.
Hey, hold up. Hey, skip me.
Next person. Hey, no judgment. No judgment. Hey, no judgment here, man. No judgment here.
Hey, I got people watching this. No.
Fast forward the question.
Lottie, do you talk to multiple people? Lottie's just laughing it off.
Hey, me and Lottie, we gotta be friends after this, girl.
So Karen, so you, I mean, you know, dating or talking, you talk multiple people.
Do I? I can't. I don't have the energy.
Okay, so you just do
it
one by one.
It's too much energy to
okay, so one by one.
Keep track of so many people.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, I don't have energy to give to this person for this need, to this person for this. I don't have that kind of energy. You know what I mean? It's like, and this chit-chatting, like telling your favorite color and all that shit. Like, I'm over all of that too. It's like, I don't have time for anybody but myself, honestly, at this point. And if someone's willing to give you that energy back, then yeah, but I don't have time to be like I don't give a shit about what you're doing every day, all day long. I don't have the roster is just like, no, I don't have time for all that. It's too much. It's too much.
Okay.
It really is.
No. All right, no worries. So,
but I mean, and I think going back to Karen's question is the 3-month period, and I think that is true. Whether you're in a long distance relationship or you're not, you start to know mannerisms. You start to see if you connect.
Oh yeah. You
start to see if there's going to be some kind of compatibility. You start to see if there may be a future. You know what I mean? But in the beginning stages, no, because you're just like fucking around. You know what I mean? Like getting to know the person. But after a certain point, it's like, okay, where are we going? Especially like at my age. It's like, okay, where is this going? Because the clock is ticking.
Right.
Like,
and we ain't got no time to fucking waste.
No,
I have no time. And honestly, like my thing is always like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I always say that because I use every single minute of my day. No matter what I'm doing, I use every single minute. Like I barely sleep because I'm like, okay, what can I do next? What can I do next? My brain is always moving. Like I don't have time to waste. I don't have energy to waste because like Alfred, I'm not sure about Karen's relationship, how long she was in her marriage, but I was in a relationship for 20 years of my life. So it's like, I'm out of prison for the last, 3 or 4 years.
Girl,
I'm set free.
Hey, get it.
And it's like Shawshank Redemption. Remember when the guy came out and he didn't know what to do with himself? I mean, that's how I feel. So I don't have any time to waste because I wasted all those years.
Live it.
Exactly. And I live my life. And you know what? Like I have my kids and I have all of that. And I'm grateful for all of that. But I'm not grateful for losing myself in all of it. You know, it's like I lost myself. I didn't know who I was. Now I know who I am. And it's hard. And it's hard. Because I'm like just trying to like focus on like me. And I'm like, okay, what do I want? What, you know what I mean? It's like I'm all over the place in that sense. So I don't have the energy to have a roster of 10 people.
So you're basically you're dating to get in a relationship. You're not dating just to date.
Yeah, I'm dating to get married.
Not to waste your time.
Well, I'm not getting married. So wait a minute, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we said
I
the
am.
M word. Hold up.
I'm not trying to get married right now.
Okay, but you're
I'm just-
dating to get in
just to be in a relationship. Yes.
in a committed relationship. Like I'm dating to get married. I'm looking to get married.
Girl,
like,
me too.
Like
Me
the
too.
whole fuckboy thing, I'm kind of over all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of over all of that. It's like, it is what it is, and it was what it was at the time, you know, because you're just going through these stages of your life, and you're not trying to be committed and all of that. But once you're like, now it's like, okay, I want to be in something that's actually may go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like, oh well, like he said, tomorrow, you know what? This is over. I'm mad because in the back of my mind, I said 3 months. If you didn't live it up, I don't like you to brush your teeth outside of the bathroom. And there you are brushing your teeth outside of the bathroom. I gotta go. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it is. And it's like, that's why I have to agree with Alfred said. It's like, it's almost like, you know, like you don't want to waste your time getting to know people over and over and over. Like I'm over that.
Over it.
So if you're getting my time and you're getting my energy, it means that you made it.
Right. Hey, you did something right. You made it to the
big leagues.
Yeah, you made something right.
You're up to bat.
Let's see if you're gonna win the Super Bowl. Let's see if you're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Lonnie, you hit it on the nail. Because that's the thing I always say. Like, I don't believe in casual dating because, like, how are you gonna build something with somebody if you casually do it? It's a commitment. You can't casually like somebody. You know, you don't casually love somebody. It's either you love me or you don't.
Yeah, or you don't.
Either you with it or you ain't.
Exactly. It's a commitment. Either you committed or you're not. Right.
Yeah, you're not.
So and it, you don't casually be good at something. It's either you practice it every single day.
You give your 100%.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah.
And the same thing with relationships.
Yeah, I have known women that are in their late 40s, 50s, and they're with this guy, you know, with a guy 2, 3, 4 years, and he's not making that commitment. I'm like, girl, we're too old for this. Walk. You should know. I always say you should know with it at the most a year if you want that person. Really 6 months, but to a year. I'm really moving forward here. At our age, I'm not talking about 20-year-olds, but I'm talking about our age. Like you gotta know.
Okay.
This is the person for you. Don't be.
No, it is.
Don't be playing. Don't play with my life a few years and then bye. No.
Yeah. Like my last 2 relationships was really like that. It was like a year, then it was like 9 months because I'm like, oh, time's up.
You don't have time. Time's up.
It's like turn to bucket. Time to go. You know.
Yeah. You're gonna make that commitment or not?
This is not working out. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
I think a lot of people waste time.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karen, for your great question. Let me know your thoughts, guys. You guys are watching this right now. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are, everybody. And if anybody wants to jump on and have a conversation with us and topics we discuss, definitely let me know. But we move on to Lonnie. Lonnie, what's your hot topic? What's your question?
So I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about a question or topic, and I think this is really important. When do you think, or at what time in the relationship do you think it's comfortable to talk about sex and what you want out of sex? Like, but you're already say you're in the relationship, okay? Mm-hmm. Are we talking 3 months? Are we talking 2 months? Because I feel that if you don't do it early on in the relationship, it gets harder to talk about later on in the relationship. So say a year. Okay, so here first, let me give you an example. Okay, well, I don't like making love. I want to get fucked 24/7. I just like hardcore sex. Okay,
the bang bang.
Right.
Bang bang.
But you're in the relationship. You're 3 months in, and you don't really say anything. Now a year later, you haven't established, or you haven't set the boundaries or the ground rules, or you haven't said your wants for it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're like, well, you don't even fuck me. You don't, you know what I mean? And then it becomes like a problem in the relationship, because I feel like sex is in my relationships, I feel like sex is one of the top things in a relationship that you're in. And so, I mean, of course, there's trust, commitment, and all that. Okay, don't get me wrong.
And we're talking about this.
Yeah.
We're talking about this.
We're talking about sex.
Yeah, we're talking about sex. And so then it's like, when do you think that it's okay to say it, or when do you feel that is the right time to say it, when you're comfortable enough to say it, so that it's not too long-term past, and then you're bringing it up 2 years later, well, I like anal. You know what I mean? When do you think, or we'll start with Karen.
Go. Hey, I got a lot to say, but go ahead.
Hey, Lonnie, real, so you don't cuddle at all?
Oh, hold up. Hey, that's not the question. That's not the question. That's not the
Alfred's
question.
like, don't divert.
Yeah, Karen,
No,
let's hear you. Let's
don't
hear
make it
Karen.
love, so you should start to smash and go. Like there's no cuddling afterwards.
Hey, that's an add-on. We'll talk about that after.
We'll talk about cuddling after this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Karen.
From the minute you can lay down with him and you give him your body, you
There
should
you go,
be
Karen.
comfortable enough
That's my girl.
to just tell him
Yeah.
and have that open relationship. Because you're comfortable enough to take your clothes off and give someone your body. You better be comfortable and tell him what you like, and he should be comfortable enough what he likes.
Thank you.
I would add on to Karen. You got to be able to communicate that way in a way. You don't just go out. I think you have to be able to communicate it so they can understand it. Some people don't know how to communicate that.
Absolutely, but if I'm not communicating with my partner, I'm not laying down with him.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So like for me and personally, like so in gay relationships, in gay world, sex is the gay handshake. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Sex is the hello. You know what I mean? That's usually gay men have sex with other gay men before they even know each other's name. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it. Yeah. And so like in that sense, like if we have sex and I find out your name, and then like, hey, we're gonna meet up for round 2, we should be able to speak about it automatically. Like, you know what I mean? And like that's kind of like the kind of so like going back to that relationship I used to have back in March. It wasn't a relationship, my bad. The talking stage I was with this person back in March. We were talking and stuff, and then like so literally maybe like the third conversation or fourth conversation we had already talked about sex and like what he was into, what I was into, and everything. Because if we're not going to be compatible sexually, then maybe this isn't, going to be something that's going to be worthwhile to entertain. You know what I mean? So like if I was into something that he wasn't into, or if he was into something that I wasn't into, but we were both into this one specific thing, like we could only have sex and connect on this one level of like, sexual act, rather than like, because sex is like all these multiple different things you can connect on sex, right? But if we're only going to connect on this one version of it, then I don't know if I'm willing to commit to it. What else do you bring to the table other than sex is going to make me want to stay? You know what I mean? And then sometimes that works for people. Sometimes people, will connect on that just because they connect on other things in life, like, financial things or whatever it may be, whatever, you know what I mean? If they connect on that, but they only have like one string that they connect on as far as, having sex, and that works for them, But for me, I think that I would rather, you know what I mean? Like get it out there in the open, talk about it, be, you know what I mean? Like be aware of what they like and what they're into, be aware of what I'm into, what I like, and then you grow from there. Or at least know that even if you're not into it, are you willing to try it with me?
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're willing to try it with me and do this with me, and then we try it, and then, it's like a building stage and you learn from it, and then like you guys keep doing it or whatever, you know what I mean? And like you expand your horizons from it, then that's like, a level of like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this, I'm gonna see where this goes, and then we're gonna build from here. But if you only like this one specific thing and you only do that one little thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's going to last.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. Yeah.
I think it goes back to the first question about like cheating and whatnot, because I do feel that if you don't express or you don't say what you want, and like Karen said, you don't communicate from the get, you don't really know what that person wants or likes, then that person might go find it somewhere else because you're not communicating about it. It's like, well, I like this to be done, I like that to be done. And then you're looking at other avenues of getting it somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, communication is huge.
So I think it's very huge. And I think it, like, in my personal opinion, is like what Karen said. If you're willing to lay down with the person, you should be able to express, like, I don't like this, I like this. Do you like this? Do you like? But it's an uncomfortable topic. This is why it's a question, because it is an uncomfortable topic for a lot of people. It's not for me.
You gotta make, yeah, right. For me neither.
Yeah, but for a lot of people,
I'm real about it. I'm real about what I like and what I don't like.
It's a huge roadblock because they don't want to speak about it and they don't want to talk about it because it's uncomfortable, especially like maybe you're early on in the 3 months, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, well, I don't want to tell him that I'm a freak. You know what I mean? But like that might scare him off. But it's like, to me, it's helpful that you do, because then you can tell early on if it's going to continue or not. Because if he's not into this and he's not into that and you are, and that's part of your number one thing in a relationship, then it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
And I think a person, I mean, at least for me, is really important. You have to be open to, and I think Alfred said that, open to try new things and open.
Exactly.
That's why you have to have that communication, and you should be open, because you know what? There's times that, and I'll be honest, oh, I don't think I like that. Guess what? I tried it and I went back for more.
Right.
You know, so
right.
You got to be open. You got to be open, you know, try it once. You might like it. You're going to go back twice. So yeah.
All right. Okay.
So, but Will, we haven't heard from you. So
hey, what you like in the bed, Will? You better let us know. What you like?
What's happening, Will?
Tell us what's up.
No, you know, it's pretty much just going off what everybody said, just communication, right? You know, especially for coming from Alfred and me, like, we're men, so like sex is, you know, a big part of the relationship, you know. So communication, I think
nowadays.
Yeah, I think Lonnie said it best, as early as possible, right? As early as possible. Don't delay it, because the more you delay, it's gonna make it more harder.
It makes it awkward, like when you're like 1 year in and you're like, well, can we do this? Like, what?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Right.
And honestly, if you're not happy and satisfied in the bed and you can't talk to your partner and have that communication, life's too short for shitty sex. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You got to be open and talk.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, yeah, all right, let's do this. Let's try this. All right. Like, you know, it's communication again. It comes back to communication.
Yeah. And also one of the reasons why I would say, like, just say it as early as possible, because say if you don't say anything for like 6 months or a year, that person might assume that he's doing a great job, or, you know, he's doing
right.
And then you break it in a year later, you just totally destroy their confidence. Destroy their confidence.
The eagle was soaring and fell straight to the ground dead.
In his mind, like, this whole time,
like,
damn, this whole year, like, this whole time, like, I thought I was, you know, doing a great job.
Yeah, I thought I was doing a damn thing.
I was smashing that.
Yeah, right.
I was destroying it.
Splashing. I'm going to find out I'm the only one over here smashing in my head. Oh my God.
Like Lonnie said, I thought I was destroying it, smashing it.
Exactly.
But this whole time, you're I mean, to me, that can tear a relationship. You know?
It really can, because I feel like it for a man, it knocks down their ego. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you're like, well, for the last year,
exactly.
I've been waiting for some kind of firework, and right now it's like,
and all those moaning for what the hell was that?
Right. I want it to be tied up, and it's like month 6.
Because like I say, you know, we get intimate, right? That's when we're most intimate, is during that during that task. So like, I think it's really important to make sure we communicate that as early as possible. And you know, teach each other. Like, that's what relationship is. We teach how to learn, how to love each other, right? Mm-hmm. And that goes a long way.
Yeah, that's like a really good way to build a relationship, is by teaching them. Like, I've always said, like, if I had, you know, like, if I was with somebody and like we had sex and the sex wasn't all that great, but I still like the person, like, sex should be fun. It should be very, you know, like, something that you can encourage each other, something that you can like explore and be like, you know, I know you like it like this, but why don't you do it like this? Because I like it like this. And then you build from that, and then come to find out, damn, that was like the best sex I ever had.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, damn, I just busted 3 times, but I can't wait to do it again, you know? Like,
hey, show that face again.
And it's like the listening part. It's like the whole listening. Are you listening to me? Are you know what I mean? Are you willing to, you know, go out of your way to comfort me the way I want to be comforted, or I can comfort you the way you like to be comforted, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of a mental and emotional thing.
Yeah, and Alfred, I think, kind of touching on that is, and go again for both men and women. It's not about just satisfying yourself. You got to satisfy your partner, and then your partner's got to satisfy you. You know, it's about each other.
Like
Yeah.
maybe a little bit TMI, but a part of me, you know, like getting off like with somebody else is like I feel like that you like it. If I feel
Right.
that you like it, even though I don't really like it all that much, I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
do
do
it
it.
because I want
Exactly.
you.
Yeah. Take care of your
I
You're a
want you to like,
giver.
yeah, you know what I mean. I want you to feel like fuck yes, like
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
want you to be like again, like you know what
No,
I mean,
Rolling
like
those eyes.
yeah, you know what I mean. I
No.
don't want you to
Yeah.
feel like that. I'm gonna make sure that I enjoy it myself and that
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this. But I want you to enjoy it too. Like this is not a one-way street. Like
Right.
let me make
Exactly.
sure that
Again.
you enjoy it. Because if you enjoy it and I can see that you enjoy it and you tell me you enjoy it, I'm gonna keep doing it until you enjoy it to the max. Like
Yes.
you know?
No,
Yeah.
it's true. I mean, because there's givers and receivers. Like I'm a giver too. Like I'm like, okay, if I don't really want to do this, but it's like floating your boat, bitch, we're doing it. You know what I mean?
Because it makes me get off that
it
you
makes
get off.
you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel better that they're enjoying what you're doing.
And
Like,
again,
I'm about that.
communication. Yeah, it comes
Yes,
down to
I'm about
communication.
that.
You're seeing it. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you said I'm a vacation. I was like, girl, right? I am a vacation.
That too. A vacation in Colorado.
Right.
Hey Alfred, when I cut up the video for this conversation, I'm gonna use your face that you showed.
He's like rolling his eyes
What
back.
face did I
He's
make?
like in
What face
heaven.
did I
Yeah.
make?
You rolled your eye away. I'm gonna screenshot that and put it in the thumbnail.
I love it so much. All right, I'm chill.
All right, no worries. Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that. That was a good question. Everybody that's watching this right now, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your favorite positions. Make it spicy on the live chat. But Lonnie, I want to come back to you. So do you cuddle?
Ah.
You know, honestly, I'm not. Okay, first of all, I don't really like cuddling. I'm not a cuddler. I'm not a PDA. I'm not a hand holder. I just am built that way. Like I'm not about like let's go.
Island gal.
Like I'm not like let's hold hands and let's like frolic and like I'm not about all of that.
I hold my booty, you can hold mine.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like straight to the point. Like I don't have time. I'm hot like all the time. I'm like temperature wise, I'm hot. It's like get off me. Like I don't need all of that. You know what I mean? It's like no, I'm not a cuddler.
Would that be how you feel now, or like once you like say you meet somebody long term and then you would want to be?
No, even in long term, I'm not a cuddler. Yeah, in long term relationship, 20 years of my life, I'm not really a cuddler. Like I'm not about it. I'm like get off me. Like
I got a good question.
We do and we move along.
I got a good question for Karen and Alfred. All right. So if you guys were with a partner and they didn't want to cuddle, how would that make you feel? They didn't want to cuddle.
I'm a huge cuddler. I want to be cuddled. I want him to hold my hand. I want to frolic.
It's that Latina in you.
It's the Latina.
It's the Latina.
It is the Latina. It's, I want to be you. We are mad at each other, but your foot better be touching my leg when we go to bed at night.
Wow.
Okay.
I want to sleep on top of you. I want to be intertwined.
I mean, I'm agree with both of you guys to an extent. You know what I mean? Because like Lonnie, like I'm the exact same way. I am not a PDA kind of person. But
my God, guys.
But the thing is, the reason why I'm not a PDA kind of guy, because I'm holding hands with another man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Socially, it's not all that accepted yet. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, people do it and it's all that, but it's like tough for me. Because if I was holding hand with a girl, I would be that kind of guy that was all over her in public, because I feel like I would do that to my girl. Mm-hmm. But me with my man, me with my whole ass dude next to me, I'm not gonna be holding his ass in front of everybody. Like, you know what I mean? We two grown ass men. I'm not gonna be touching up on his booty like that. Now, behind closed doors, I'll do that. Behind closed doors, I'll bite that ass. You know what I mean? It's different. Yeah, behind closed doors, when the public can't see, without the public eye, I am just what Karen likes. Like I'm very affectionate. I'm very overbearing. Like that's what I do behind closed doors. But in front of people, nah, I don't do that. I'm very straightforward. You know what I mean? Like I'm very like, hey, it's like like I just know in the back of my mind that me and you are together. Like if we're together and we're doing
Right.
this, you know what I mean? Like I don't need to showcase my love for you. You
Thank
know what I mean?
you.
Like
I agree.
you know what I mean? I don't need to do that because you already know behind closed doors you're gonna get it. Hey, you gonna get it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stop
you
it. I'm
go
trying
come
to drink
around.
this drink
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
You know, but that's like behind closed doors type of thing, you know?
Like that's how I feel too. That's exactly how I feel too. It's like you don't have to have this whole extravaganza and show the world, blah blah. When the doors close,
hey,
that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
I put it on you. Yeah, I'm putting it on you.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys. To me, it's not about the world. I'm just a super affectionate person, and I feel like Alfred said, I'm Latina, so I'm like that. I'm just affectionate. I mean, even my kids, like they're like, "Mom, stop!" I kiss them all the time. I'm just a super affectionate person.
Oh, I don't kiss
Yeah,
my
my
kids.
ex is
Yeah.
my ex
Oh
is
my
Latino.
God, I'm on my kids all the time.
I am not.
Yeah, my
I'm
ex is
not
imagine
even
how I
Latino,
am.
so I get
So,
you. I get
so
you where you're
imagine how I
coming
am
from.
with my partner. I'm like,
Oh my
"Mm,"
God.
you know, yeah.
She's all like, like
And
teddy
it's not
bears
for
and
the
roses
world,
and
it's for
unicorns
me.
and flowers.
You know,
And I'm
it,
frolicking on the beach.
it's weird. I only cringe when I do it. When other people do it, I'm like, oh, that they're
Right?
so in
Oh,
love.
that's so
But
sweet.
when,
That's so cute.
yeah, but when I
Yeah,
do
to
it,
me,
I'm
I
like,
don't care.
ugh.
Yeah.
Like I don't like
Yeah,
it when
yeah.
I do it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
when other people do it, I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to be like that.
Yeah. And I'm
But I
so
guess
about
it's just-
PDA. And it's not even about the people who are around me. It's just when I'm with my person, I am in we're in our own world, us two. That's
Yeah,
it.
you
I don't care
own
who's
him.
around me.
You own him.
I mean, I guess it's kind of
I
like how
am
you're raised
out of
too.
the house and then in the house.
Get it.
Well, I guess it's kind
Get
of like
it,
how you
girl.
were raised
Get
too.
it.
Like my parents weren't very cuddly and coolly
Oh,
with me. You
okay,
know what I
so
mean?
yeah.
And so
Mhm.
I think it's kind of how you were raised too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
for
like
sure.
for
Yeah,
me, like I
Hong is not
like
raised
to
like
keep
that.
my shit tight. And
Yeah.
then like when the door closes, then it's like, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Hey, you like to keep it what, Lonnie? Okay. You better let them know.
It's a different story. The red light goes on, fireworks happen.
Red light, green light.
Right, Squid Game's up in here.
Exactly. Exactly.
So 50 Shades going on. You know, I have a rope beside my bed. Like I got some handcuffs over here.
Oh my God. Right, people licking my cookie.
All right. So thank you for all your interesting stories. All right. So
Wait, so
Take
Will, are you a PDA person? Do you like to cuddle?
yeah.
You're a cuddler?
Yeah.
Are you? I can't see you as a PDA person. Are you?
No, I like them to do it to me. I'm not gonna, do it to them, but I like to do it to me. Just come.
But like you
to
say
my
you're in
side.
public, like you go to lunch with your girl, whatever. Are you guys like holding hands?
So he likes it if she's holding his shoulder, if she's like all up on him like this, but you will never catch him in public doing that.
Exactly.
To her.
Yeah, I won't do it, but I don't mind them doing it.
So what if she wants to like
You don't
lock
mind.
lips and like start lunging you in public? Like, is that cool or no?
Yeah, because she's doing it to him.
Yeah.
Like if she's
doing
sticking
it
her
to
tongue
her,
down your throat in public, are you okay with that?
I feel like that kind of makes you feel like a man. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like Will
It's like,
doesn't do
yeah,
that. I
she
feel like
won't
Will wouldn't
me.
do it. I
Yeah.
feel like Will wouldn't do it. I feel like I've known him well enough that he's not gonna be like,
He wouldn't, but she
if it-
does. And if she does,
depending on
like
time and place. If we're
Time
like
and place, okay.
if you're in a park somewhere, yeah, I wouldn't mind. But we're like
So what if you're like in public, like you're like at a like at a beach
Restaurant?
or something, and then
Oh yeah.
I don't like to draw attention. I like to like be low key. You're
you're not extra like me.
Hey, he a behind the scenes freak. He a freak behind the scenes.
we can go
I'm trying to
private.
pull that out of him right now.
Go private.
Look, there's a time and place. At a kid's party, it's not happening. But yeah, we're at a restaurant or a beach, it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
But for Karen doing it at 24/7. Karen want it all the time because Karen likes to what? Be loved, be cuddled.
Yeah.
She does. She does.
I do.
Oh,
I
words.
fucking
She
love
loves
that.
that.
I love that about you, Karen. I love that about
I know
you.
that it's so cute for you.
I walk
Literally,
in and people are like, oh, she's so serious. She's businesswoman. And I'm like, no, I'm like a little
she's like, I
teddy
want
bear.
to hug me. She's the type that walks in and hugs everybody at the party.
I do.
All right.
I'm like, there's no
fine.
handshake in here.
Man, we got some nice questions tonight. Nice and
Okay.
hot questions. All right, so Alfred, this is pass it to you. Alfred, what's your hot topic of question?
Well, I do got a couple questions, but I'll just touch back on something that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know the whole phrase, age ain't nothing but a number. But as mature people, as mature women, as yourselves, would you guys find yourselves dating a younger man? Now, and if he is younger, what is your limit?
How young?
What is
How
your
young?
cutoff?
How young?
What is your cutoff of when you want to be like, you know what, that's too young, or I'm like, you know what, he is younger than me, but I'll accept that. Like, what is your cutoff? Because I got my own cutoff. So let me hear from you all.
Can I go first?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
Karen. Go ahead, Karen.
I did. I had a younger guy after me for 2 years. I finally gave in. I did go on dates. Actually, he was a really great guy. He was actually more mature than a lot of the guys that I date in 50s. Great guy. 29.
Oh,
I'm 29.
Okay.
Yeah,
me too.
29. It lasted a few days, and then I was like, I can't. I just, again, I'm like, I can birth you. I can't do this. As adorable as he was, as out far. I just, did way more than a lot of men in their 50s even do, gentlemen opening the door, great dates. I mentally, I couldn't get over it. And we went out and he actually looked my age. So it wasn't even like people looked at us weird or anything. It was like,
Damn.
we looked like on the same level, but I couldn't get over that hump. And even though I'm telling you, it was one of the best guys that I did date.
Oh, so he looked like he was 30 then.
He did. He looked like he was in his 30s.
Okay.
But thank you. I want it as a compliment, Alfred.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, and it's mentally I couldn't, and even my friends were like, get over the fact. I go, I just can't get over the fact, but I did, and it was great.
All right, Lonnie, what's your experience, or what's your answer to that? Would you ever date younger?
Oh,
we have to define
Time's
the
a
definition
ticking.
of date.
Time's a ticking. I hear the crickets out there in Hawaii.
She paused
They
for a
singing
second,
to
a
us.
long pause.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
we
did.
define date? Like, no, honestly, like dating wise, like being in a relationship wise, I just think I can't. I mean, I have a son that's your age, Alfred. So
yeah,
it would be hard for me to bring that home. And like, I mean, I had a kid when I was a teen, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But dating wise, yes. But if I were to just like sleep with them per se, not that I know from experience. No, honestly, like, I mean, I did kind of like hit it off with someone like that was really younger than me, but it was basically just sex. It wasn't more than that. Mm-hmm. But on certain levels, like Karen said, there's a lot of things that were mature about him, like his mentality and the way and that's what kind of attracted me to him in the first place. But in my heart of hearts, I knew that I couldn't bring that home, and make it a part of my life, because he was only a couple years older than my son, and that just wouldn't sit well with my kids, Yeah. And your experiences are different, like I was dating a guy last year, and he had dated someone, he was my age, and he had dated someone like 20 years younger. And I was like, what do you guys talk about? Like, what did you guys talk about? Like, I was interested in knowing, like, honestly, what did you guys talk about? Like, for example, in 2020, we had a pandemic. So a 20-year-old in 20 years from now is gonna be 40, is gonna date a 20-year-old that was born in 2020. That person has no idea what the hell a pandemic is, what we lived through.
Right.
So what is your commonalities? Like, like I'm in the age of like Dirty Dancing and like La Bamba. Like, those are the movies that I grew up on. Like, are you going to be able to talk to me about that? Are you going to be able to talk to me about like what was happening in the world at the time of our age? And it's not, there's no commonalities. And there's nothing to really keep conversation about when there's such a huge gap, in my opinion. That's in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like certain time event, like 9/11, for example, right? Like I lived through 9/11. I was like in my 20s. Like,
same. Same.
Dealing with somebody like 20 years younger than me, they have no idea what happened for 9/11. They weren't even like, some of them weren't even born, you know? And so
I
it's
was in
just certain
5th
things
grade.
that I feel like there's no like this. There could be a spark and there could be certain things, but for me to be in a relationship, it has to match at all levels. You know, like I said, the energy has to be the same. So mentally, emotionally, I mean, and there's going to be 60-40 in some of those things, or 50-50, or, you know, it's going to fluctuate. But you have to come to a certain point where you understand that it's not going to be right for you. Even though, like, I mean, at one point it's like, wow, I love this guy. You know what I mean? But it's like, but is it really love? Or is it lust? Or
lust? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's good dick. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, like, you know, you have to tell yourself mentally and emotionally, break yourself away from just the sex itself and be like, okay, is that really going to work or not?
And I agree with you. There can be that spark, but is it going to go for the long haul?
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be realistic.
Is this something I
you
can
have
see
to
myself?
Be realistic.
Longevity.
Yeah, you have to be realistic. Yeah.
What about
Karen,
say the number?
It's hard though. It's hard. You know, it's like you think about it and it's super hard because you're like, wow, we're just in the wrong time frame. You know, like we're just at the wrong time. Like you were born too late. I was born too, you know what I mean? It's just, it sucks.
Yeah.
I had a question for Karen real quick. That guy that you dated, he was 29 years old. Was he in the same level as far as socioeconomic status as you? Like as far as like, was he in the same level or lower?
Financially?
Financially, yeah.
He was lower than me, but he had his stuff together. I mean, his career was already together. Like the kid had been hustling. The kid, see.
Hey,
the man.
He went back to the first time they did it, because I know they did it.
I didn't edit that. So it's live. You know, he, as a man, he had been hustling since like young, like 16 years old. He had it together. He had a career. Yes, it was less than me. That wasn't the reason. It was just like, you know, my daughter's 20. How was I going to bring home a 29-year-old? You know,
exactly.
I mean, I could have birthed him. I could have been in my teens and birthed him.
Like
I said, great guy, better than the 50-year-olds. Like some of the 50-year-olds that I've dated, but I couldn't. There was that spark, but for the long haul, I had to be realistic. And when he's telling me that, you know, his parents are I think his parents like 54, and I'm like, shoot, I'm 48. How am I even going to walk into their house? You know? How's that 6-month process gonna go?
Like
when I walk in,
you could be like the mom's friend or something.
Exactly.
You know?
I'll be like, hell, I'll hang out with your mom because you know,
little sister. You could be the mom, little sister.
Exactly. I can be
the reason why I brought up that question, because the relationships of what I have seen with the man was dramatically younger than the woman was when he was when he was doing really when he was above the woman, you know, as far as financial socioeconomic status, where she looked up to him. Because I do believe for a woman to be with a man, like that you mentioned before earlier, like he has to be the leader, the dominant, the masculine energy. He has to be somebody that she looks up to. It's really, really hard as a woman to look up to a guy that's younger, unless he's one of those, you know, those guys that work really hard and put himself alpha, or you're alpha, but put himself in, you know, he's one of those top 1% in society that's really put himself in a good position where you could look over the age thing and look up to him and wow, like he's actually one of, like, you know, he's doing really good in life, where you can kind of overlook the age. And that's my question to you, like, would you be able to date a guy that's younger but he's really doing really, really well? He's like, let's say he's like, you know, running a $1 billion company, or like he's one of those few men out there just dominating the world. Could you overlook that age if that was the case?
I don't know. I'd have to really know his age. Like I couldn't do the 20. I just couldn't with 29. Now I'm 48. I mean, my minimum would be 40. I don't know. Could I go and date a 39-year-old and kind of overlook that? And to me, when you said alpha, I'm an alpha woman, but I need an alpha man. I need him to be stronger than me. I definitely need him to be stronger than me, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, that's been really hard to find.
Yeah. Usually the younger men, it's hard to find that in the younger men. Usually older.
Well, even men in their 50s, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So after the question for me, no, for me it's I don't have an age limit. As far as the younger, I date everything.
Lies.
What's the youngest? What's the youngest, Will?
Yeah.
19.
How much lower would you go?
Yeah.
The youngest I've ever been was 19.
How long did
19?
that last? How long did it last?
Wait, how old
like-
were you though?
How long did it last?
That was a couple years ago, and that was only a couple months. But I'm like, like I said, I'm open to it. Like for me, it doesn't stop me from trying.
Were there times that you were like, I can't, this is just not, the long haul is not going to happen here?
No,
Because you noticed the age difference.
Well, the thing is, I think for me, I don't really look at the age. It's like for me, if I like you, I don't. The age doesn't stop me from like I don't look at the age that way. If I like you if I like I'm attracted to you, I'm gonna pursue you.
It's about compatibility.
Yeah.
Compatibility.
Yeah. So the age thing doesn't matter to me. When it comes to younger women.
But do you think at a certain point of like going after a younger person that they're more immature than you are? It's like,
I mean, I don't pursue it, the younger one. I mean, if all I'm saying is that it doesn't matter to me if I meet you, if you're 19, 21, 25, like doesn't matter to me. So it's not. Go ahead, Alfred.
Well, I'm gonna flip this right on the other side, like, well, because I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody that was well older than me, way older than me, and so like
how old? Like how old?
So get this, right? So back to this relationship I was talking about with this guy back in March, right? And we started in March, and then until June. And like this was like, to me, that was like almost the final straw. And not that I was like, making a big deal or anything, but age is a number to me. It is a huge factor to me. And I was talking to this dude, and this dude was cool and everything, but come to find out, I'm 29, and I turned 29 this year, 2021, I turned 29. He turned 41 this year. Now, I will say he looked great for his age, and I did not think that he was 41. But when I found out he was 41, things just like went through my head like, damn, he's 41? Like, to me in my head, well, because like, the age gap, the age difference, you know what I mean? Like, that was just, because the age difference was too great. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that was too much of a number. Like I think the oldest that I probably would consider would probably be like 7 years older, like maybe a 36, 37, maybe. But then like, because that age gap was too great, I was like, damn. I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday. I would rather, especially in like a man-on-man relationship, I would rather walk with him rather than walk behind him. You know what I mean? Like, I want to walk with somebody. I don't want to be led by somebody. You know what I mean? And I don't want somebody to be like, oh, I did this, I already did that, I don't want to do that no more. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't even done that yet in my life. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I just want to, as far as age goes, like, I want to mature together. I want to grow together. And then like, that also goes for being younger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, the youngest I will go now is probably like a year or two. You know what I mean? And that's 2 years to me now is like pushing it, because the maturity level mentality, like,
that's why I was saying when Will said 19, I'm like,
yeah, that maturity level in your head is not the same, especially when it comes to like, like do not do relationships. Like, it's not there's not
enough experience. There's not enough experience, and there's not enough things that they went through that you have already been through in life.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I've been through heartbreak. I've been cheated on, you know what I mean? And then like some other people that were younger than me would be like, yeah, I'll never treat you like that. But like, you're fucking 19. How the hell do I know that you would never treat you like that? You don't even know. You don't even know. I'm not gonna entrust my feelings into somebody who don't even know how to wipe their own ass type of. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't even know. You don't even know. So that's why, as far as younger, I would rather somebody that's like, a year at max. You know what I mean? Like 2, I could probably make an exception, but younger, no. Older, I could probably do a year or 2. 3, 4, like depending, up to 6 or 7. But if you 41 and I'm 29, like not to say that he was a great guy, because like I'm not trying to read him. Like, honestly, he was an amazing guy.
Right. The timing was off.
Timing.
Yeah, I think he'd be more amazing for somebody closer to his age.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, I just don't want to like take that away from him. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
it's hard. That's why I'm saying it's hard, because it's almost like it's almost like it's right there, but it's not, because you're in the wrong time period, or
exactly.
You know, whatever it is. And especially with younger people, you know, it's like, I feel the same way. It's like they haven't experienced enough to be, or to understand certain things. Like, I always say this, and I don't knock social media influencers, but the younger ones that are out there in the bikinis and living their life, like, I'm going to motivate you. You're going to be this great person. If you listen to me, come to me, like, I'm going to brighten your day and all of that. It's like, you live at home with your parents.
Yeah,
you don't
have a mortgage. Know what it is.
You don't know, like, you're not influencing me, you know? And a lot of people tell me, well, you're not going to watch them because you're older. Right, but my daughters will. And other people will. And that's not an influencer, because they haven't lived their life. There's no experience behind what they're personaing. You know what I mean? And it's like, just like in dating or whatever else, or being in relationships, when you date someone younger, a lot of times they don't understand the pains. Like you said, you've been through heartbreak. Not everybody has been at that young age. Some people don't start really dating until they're like in their 20s, and maybe they never got cheated on, but you got cheated on. So you know how it feels. So you have a little trust issue. They don't, because they're like, well, what does that even mean? You know? And so it does make a difference. It does make a difference. It does.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. We'll flip it. Like, what's the oldest you would date? You know, we talk about the youngest. Let's talk about the oldest. Like, what's the cutoff for you guys, or how old a guy can be? That you're like, I'm not. It's too old. It's like grandpa. Dating my grandpa right now. All right. So I thought we do. Karen.
But can they get it up is the question.
Yes.
Girl, is that little blue pill.
Let's assume they can get it up. But yeah, what is the cutoff as far as being too old for you, Karen?
I did date someone who was 10 years older than me. So he was 58. It was earlier this year. He was turned out to be boring? No, he turned out to be the most immature guy out of everyone.
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah. So I think it just depends. But my cutoff is I tend to like either I'll go up to like maybe 6-7 years older than me. I can give up to that. And this time I took a chance being 10 years older than me, and the man turned out to be so immature. Or younger than me. It's hard, because I've also dated a guy who's 40, and so I did give him a chance. So I would just say maybe like mid 40s, mid 40s, and past. So
okay, all right,
all right. And I can't go, so I guess 6 years this way and 6 years that way. Basically, I'm just gonna say.
I think that's good. I think that I feel the same way. I think that's pretty average. I mean, because you don't want to date somebody that's so much older. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, then they're really boring.
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, okay, because they've already been through more stuff than you. Same like us, right? They've already been through more stuff than you. Then you're just like a little accessory to them.
Yes.
Like, exactly. I don't want to be an accessory.
I don't want to be an accessory either. Yeah. I want to be, we're there for each other. We got each other's backs. We're looking good together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Alfred, what was it? What's the cutoff for you? Like, too old?
I mean, like, I guess going back to what I was saying earlier and what had happened in my situation, I think being with somebody that's a little bit too much older, it kind of like, not that he had ever made me feel this way, but it makes me feel that I need to catch up. You know what I mean? Like, I need to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I need to be more mature. And like, to be honest, like the person I was talking to, you know what I mean, that was a lot older than me, he was a lot like my energy. He definitely was really cool. Like we vibed very well. That's why we talked very long. You know what I mean? Like, and like I was able to like not lose interest. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't lose interest all too fast, you know? And that was really dope. And I like that. But I think with the whole age thing, it's just like, I guess just going back to what I was saying earlier, like, I don't want to walk behind somebody. I don't want to be, you know what I mean? And then like, there's some times where like it's going to make me feel some type of way if at some point you're going to be like, you know what, like you haven't matured yet. You haven't, went to
Yeah.
this level of
And you're
maturity.
like 2 steps behind, trying to like.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but like let's all things set aside and everything. Like I have my own money. I have my own car. I have my own place to stay. Like I don't need nothing. I don't need that from you. I'm not gonna be coming to you to like, pay my bills or nothing like that. Like I work hard for my own, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I just don't want it. Like I just feel at some point in this relationship, something's gonna catch you off guard and be like, what? Like you didn't pay this bill on time? Why isn't your credit score so amazing?
Right.
If you've been working so hard, you know what I mean? Like I work hard for my money, but like it's just that whole walking behind somebody, and like I like it when guys are always like, hey, I'll pay for this. I'll do this for you. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy that. But 1 or 2 times, you know what I mean? After the third or fourth time, and you're to me, you're telling me that you want to pay for this, you want to do this for me, it makes me feel that I'm not adequate enough to do it for myself. And I'm like, what do you think of me then? You know what I mean? Like if like I understand that you're this kind of person, that you're this kind of man that just always is willing to pay for me. But what does that tell, like in the back of my mind? Like, what are you thinking about me when you're by yourself? Do you think I'm not adequate enough?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, I think the
same
same goes for us too. I think the same goes for us too. It's almost like I was dating some guy and he always would bust out his wallet, and I'm like, bitch, I can pay too. Like, you know what I mean? And then when I go to pay, it's like, no. Like a man's supposed to pay, and I'm just like, no, because I don't like to feel like I owe somebody, or exactly how you said, I don't want to feel like I'm inadequate, like I can't pay my own tab. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, no, I can pay my own tab. Yeah.
I don't need that. But like I said, you know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool when you have it, when I don't have it.
Right.
And then we have a mutual understanding. Yeah. But for you to always bust it out all the time, like, and then you act like it's always cool. Like I get that, but at the same time, so like let's say, so like for me personally, like if I'm dating somebody that's way younger than me, like let me put myself in that other person's position. Mm-hmm. If I'm gonna pay for somebody that's always younger than me, and I'm always gonna be the kind of person, because for real, I'm that kind of guy. I'm the guy that got money. I'm the one who always pays the tab. I'm just that kind of guy. You know what I mean? Right. And when I pay for it, I'm gonna decline that you pay for it at least 2 times before I'd be like, you know what? All right, I'll let you pay for it, type of thing. Right. And then it's kind of like the kind of guy I am. But I like the fact that you speak up and you say that you can pay for it. Yeah, exactly. Because if I'm like, yep, I pay for it, and now you're comfortable with me paying for it 100% of the time, I'm like, where your money at? Why are we not on the same level? Why are we not on the same level?
Okay. No, I mean, and that comes to getting to know people too, like how we talked about the 2 or 3 month thing, how you mentioned about tip and stuff like that.
You should know by then.
I'm like 100% about the whole tip thing too. It's like if I'm somewhere and you're and this guy's like, I mean, because this has happened to me several times. Oh no, I got it. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I can pay for myself, but okay. So they got the tab, they pay the tab, and then I see the tip they leave, and I'm like,
Right? You a shitty tipper?
I bust out my wallet.
That kills me.
Yes. I've been a bartender for over 20 years of my life. I bust up my wallet and I tip, and then it kind of becomes an issue. Like, well, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna walk out of here, even though you paid that tab, and you feel all like whatever. No.
Yeah.
That's why I rather pay all the time, because I'm like, I want to give the good tip. I want to be that person. So like, I understand where you're coming from. It's like, you give them the opportunity once in a while to offer to pay, but when you fail and not give a tip, bye.
But I think we all can agree, horrible tippers. That's just a no.
Dude, that's a red flag.
Hard no. That's a red. That's like a bright red flag. Yeah.
Red
Like
flag.
scarlet red flag.
Yeah. I've
All
never
right.
been in the service industry, but I appreciate every single time
Right,
when I
me
go out,
too.
I'm taken care of, and you know,
Thank
and even when I
you.
don't have good service, I'll still tip them good
Exactly.
because
Right. I'll
maybe they
tip
were
you.
having a bad moment. Maybe the table before me was really bad to them and it was horrible.
Right.
You know, you just don't know the
You
situation.
don't know.
In service
Exactly.
industry, people they work really hard. So
Exactly.
yes,
And they could be a
bad
single
tipper.
parent. You don't know what
Yes.
they're going through, you know?
Exactly.
Yes.
Bad tipper, huge
Right.
red flag.
All right.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all my bad tippers out there, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. What everybody said.
Yeah.
Is,
You're not
Let
getting
us
with
know
any
your
of us.
thoughts, you
Are
bad
you
tippers.
are you the
Please.
problem or are they the problem? And then let us know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got one more. I have a reaction video I want to play because I think this is a really a good topic I want to bring up to conclude our podcast real quick. So I'm gonna share this video. It's a video I saw that was going viral on TikTok. So I'm gonna play this video. We're gonna react to it, and I'm gonna ask you a question because actually it's something I'm gonna talk about on another podcast, but it's something that I've been realizing I've been hearing a lot of men. I'm sorry, I've been hearing a lot of women say, but I disagree to it. But let me react. Let me share my screen real quick with you guys. All right. Share.
Okay, so I was just thinking about this,
You guys can you guys hear this?
I did.
You see it? All right, cool. Okay.
and let me know what y'all think. But there has been times where I will be talking to a man and I won't be feeling it, and people will be like, why? And I'll be like, he's just too nice. And people will look at me like I'm stupid. They'll be like, what do you mean he's too nice? Like, you want somebody mean? And I figured it out. It's not that I want somebody mean. It's just what I'm looking for in a man is masculine energy that is dominant over my masculine energy so it can bring out my feminine energy. Does that make sense? Like, if I feel like I have more masculine energy than you do, then I feel like you can't really be dominant over me and I can't be submissive and my feminine energy can't come out. Does that make sense? Because it makes sense to me.
It does.
All right. So that was the video I saw that was trending on social media, and I got really into it. My previous podcast, I got really into it with this one of our guests, and shout out to her for joining me on the podcast. But she was saying that she wants men should be vulnerable and emotional. And for me, as a man and as a masculine man, I believe for a relationship to work, the man has to be the man and he has to be that dominant masculine energy. And in order for a man to be masculine, he can't be too vulnerable and too emotional. Now, I'm not saying that being vulnerable and emotional, a man can't do that. Yeah, that's of course. But in order for a man to grow to become a very responsible, beautiful, committed, and masculine man, he needs to be able to tap into that masculine energy, which means he needs to learn his emotions, and he can't be too emotional, too vulnerable, and too feminine. Because I do believe feminine women, even if women who are very masculine, you're still feminine inside. You just, like that girl said, you just need a man that's going to be the more dominant than you in order to bring out your feminine energy. But I do believe every woman wants a dominant and craves a masculine man in a relationship. And telling men out there to be feminine, to be vulnerable, and too emotional, I believe does them a disservice. It doesn't help them when it comes to real life, when it comes to dating. So I do believe it's like I said, it's okay to be vulnerable as a man and to be emotional, but I do believe you can't lead off with that as a man. You have to always be the lead off with your masculine energy. And when you meet the right woman that you love, then you be vulnerable to her and be emotional to her, because that's what women want. But that can't be your primary trait as a man. Your primary trait can't be emotional and vulnerable. No, your primary trait needs to be masculine energy. Learn how to control your emotions, be very stoic. And then when you meet the right woman, then you'll be able to bring that secondary trait of vulnerability, emotion. But you can't be an emotional, vulnerable man. That doesn't help you in relationships and in life. That's my thoughts. But I'm gonna throw that back to you guys.
I'm gonna just jump on you, Will, right now.
Sorry with you, Karen.
Because I am a huge, I have studied the past 3 years, huge on masculine and feminine energy. Huge. I think a man can be masculine. He can be vulnerable. He can be open and in touch with his feelings. I think a lot of men have masculinity confused with ego. And those are two different things. and they have to know. I think FK's agreeing with me. They're too much in their ego and not masculine energy, and and I think a lot has to do. We all carry masculine and we all carry feminine energy. Okay, but we have to know that a lot of us, you may have wounded masculine energy from childhood. You may have wounded feminine energy. That's up to you to get that into balance and work on. Not when I say you, I don't mean you specifically, but with the person, for them to work on that. Huge. I've been working on it for a few years. It's a huge confusion with the men nowadays is with their ego. It's just like a lot of women who carry this huge masculine energy, and it's because they have wounded masculine energy, and they need to work on that as well to get back into their feminine. That doesn't mean that the man has to be stoic or dominant, or that to me is just a guy being a jerk and a guy not in his ego. I'm going to read something to you. This is from one of the this has been actually my best teacher. I've taken several courses with him, and I'm actually going to take another course with him in January. But I'm going to read something that was just written, and he's amazing. A feminine woman will better receive a man's strong masculine energy when he is integrated with his heart. She will struggle to fully open to a man who has wobbly masculinity controlled by his ego. And I think it says it best right there. So I completely disagree with you on that.
Okay, Karen, do you believe that men what the men who are too emotional, too vulnerable?
No, I think it's beautiful if a man is masculine and he is so.
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying that the men who are very, very feminine, very emotional, very vulnerable. They're not masculine.
I think then they have to get they have wounded masculine energy. It's about getting your energies into balance. It really is. And we all have that. Those are childhood wounds. It's either, we were hurt, childhood wound from our mother, childhood wound from our father. Those are wounds that need to be healed in order for those energies to be, equalized and it's not going to happen overnight. It takes years of getting that on an equal basis.
Okay. All right. MK, what's your thoughts?
I mean, for me, I think I've been saying this for years that I have literally too much testosterone. I seriously think I literally have big dick energy. Like that's just what I have.
Big Lonnie energy.
But I mean, there is a huge feminine side to me too.
Yeah.
But I was in relationships with men that are very masculine, but also very emotional and very vulnerable. And I'm like, stop being a pussy, honestly. And it's irritating when I have more balls than you, in certain aspects. But then it's like, okay, but do I want somebody that's like blah, blah, blah all the time? No, I don't. But maybe it's like Karen said, people have different experiences, and so their energies are off balance or whatever it is. Like for me, I am very feminine. I mean, you see my posts, you see how I am, but I'm also very masculine in the same aspect. And so for me to be compatible with someone, that person has to be more masculine than me. And that's hard. It's hard because I'm very dominating, and I'm very like in Karen's case, she's looking for somebody to dominate, to do this relationship thing, to like take control. In my own world, I'm not about that. Like I'm about, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this my way. But it's because I had so many adversities, and it kind of is about how you were brought up and your life experiences. Like I said, for me, I've been a teen mom. I've been a mom for more than half my life. I've had 2 and 3 jobs for many, many years. For my whole life, I've had 2 jobs. And so for me to kind of kowtow to somebody that's real masculine and not really, not receiving me in the way that I want to be received, it's very, very difficult. I mean, and the girl in the TikTok that, she said, well, I want them to bring up my feminine energy and, whatever it is. It's like, yeah, I want that too. But I also don't want something that's so domineering and so masculine that they're overpowering me.
Okay.
So I have a question for you, MK. Do you trust the masculine?
Of someone else? I mean, of a partner?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do to a certain extent, but I don't like it. Like I said, like I don't like it to dominate me and dominate what I'm about and
yeah.
and
Well, when they're dominating, it's
right
their
down
ego. When they're dominating, it's their ego. You know, so their ego. That's all about ego. But that's why I wanted to ask you if you trusted the masculine, and then also what kind of men are mostly that you find come to you? Do you find masculine men mostly come to you, or feminine men come to you? More men and they're feminine.
I mean,
okay.
and it's and honestly, it's different in Hawaii because all men over here is blah blah blah. That's my girl. Like that's my piece of property. I mean, most men in Hawaii are like that in general. So it's also cultural.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, look at my culture. The Latin men are so
Latino guys.
So you actually maybe more if you, because usually if you're very in your masculine energy, you're going to attract men who are more in their feminine energy. That's just the way it works.
And sometimes
so you actually maybe more your core is feminine, and you're just not realizing it.
Like the relationship that I was in for 20 years. Very, very on the outside dominant. I'm this, I'm that ego, but on the inside, it's more weight. Like you're a crybaby. Like I barely cry. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're right in that aspect that attraction is the opposite. Their persona is masculine because that's what men are supposed to be. But on the inside, the core it's soft. It's very feminine. So it is about balancing. Like I think you're 100% accurate when you're saying balancing, because it's almost like I need someone to kind of balance me out.
Yeah.
Like calm down. Like you have more testosterone than me. Like, You know what I mean?
It's about healing our energies. And I agree with you. It's about our life experiences and things we've gone through. How we were raised, how we saw things in our household, how we were in our relationships. You know, the experiences we've had, your experience of your marriage, my experience of my marriage. So those are all the things that wound us.
It's tough.
That we have to be able to heal ourselves.
Right.
So we can find that ideal partner.
I would say there's a difference, we talk about dominating. I would say there's a difference between a masculine man that's dominating with his ego and a masculine man that's leading. Right?
Leading is the word. Leading is the key word. Leading.
And one of the things I have noticed, because a lot of women today are very independent, the modern women, a lot of women today who probably, if they grew up in a single parent household and they didn't have a father in their life, they're not used to a man leading them, right? So when a man comes into their life and he's very masculine, he wants to lead her, but because she has a very independent mindset and she didn't grow with the father, that his leadership can be seen as toxic masculinity or dominance. So even though the guy's healthily trying to lead her, because that's what a healthy masculine man does, he will lead his woman because she's not used to that and she wasn't taught that. His leadership as dominating. And that's why I've seen that so many women where healthy masculine men which will become and be the leader for their life, but because they're not used to that leadership, in their mind, he's trying to control me. He's trying to put me down. No,
exactly right. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. Yes. And it's about healing yourself and recognizing that. And the girl in the video, she's saying for him to bring out my feminine energy, that should already be within herself. So that tells us she needs healing. She shouldn't be just like we shouldn't be looking for someone to make us happy. She shouldn't be looking for the man to bring out her feminine. She's wounded. To validate her energy. She's wounded and she needs to. Yeah.
A man
needs healing.
A man shouldn't have to do more to bring out your feminine energy. You should just bring it because
you should be.
You're with them.
And we all have at our core, and there's nothing wrong. And you know what? If a man's core is feminine, there's nothing wrong with that. Some women like that. Nothing wrong with that. And a man in his masculine core can still be vulnerable and open and comfortable enough to be in his feelings within his relationship and still be able to hold his woman.
Well, and I think it all starts with recognizing. That's it. You recognize what you are, and that's something that I'm going through right now. Like I'm recognizing who I am, and that's the whole finding male. Like you know what I mean? Like that's just my name on everything, because that is what it is. It's like I'm finding myself through the process of all of this. Like you said, your energy,
and that's wonderful.
And you know what I mean? It's like sitting down, and as long as you recognize it and you work on it, then you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You have to recognize it.
You have to recognize it.
Oh, I'm this. I'm a bad bitch. I don't need no one.
Yeah, I don't need that.
You
Yeah.
know, you need to kind of
Absolutely.
recognize who you are and what you want and what you're, just like we talked about earlier, you know, kind of what you want in a relationship and communicating and all of that.
Absolutely.
Before-
And I think the best way to describe masculine energy is think of a glass of water. The glass is the masculine energy. It's able to hold you. And the water inside is the woman. So it's able to sustain and hold the woman. And that's how, you know, healthy relationships, you should be able to hold each other.
Before I pass it to Alfred, I know you guys something to say. Alfred's
like-
trying to go.
Alfred's like,
but let me.
Be like these women.
Let me just say one thing before I pass it, Alfred. I do disagree with what Karen said, respectfully. That if a man's core is feminine, there's something wrong with it. I do believe there's something wrong with that. A core of a man should be masculine. If he's not, if his core is purely feminine, that means he wasn't. No one around his life, the male people, the male that he grew up, he said that no one taught him how to be a man. That's why he's core.
I don't
It's
agree
feminine.
with that. I don't agree with that. It's just like saying a woman being so in her feminine. We all
Because
we all have
every
what's in
because
our core.
I think I do believe in biological differences. I do believe every woman's feminine. Every woman's feminine, even though you have masculine
I
traits.
disagree with that. I disagree.
Yeah,
It all depends on the core.
No, that's fine. I believe every woman is feminine, but you may have masculine traits because of how you grew up, because of experiences, because of healing. But if you go to the healing process, that feminine coreness within you will come out. If you go to the healing process, so I believe every man is masculine.
I'm gonna respectfully disagree on
Yeah,
both.
no, that's fine.
Yeah, no, but I do think that men are masculine, whatever. But I don't think it's. I do think that at some point in their core, if it is feminine, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's absolutely nothing wrong
because
with it.
when you're growing up and you're not able to cry, like, oh, you're a boy. What are you doing? You're not a girl. Stop crying and all that shit. That messes with them throughout their whole life and how they treat women and everything else, because they need to be able to understand their own emotions and their own feelings as men.
And that's why they turn out to be some fucking asshole. But go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They have to be able to be in touch with their feelings and their own emotions and how to process it. You know, and it's always like that in every culture or whatever it is. It's like, oh, the boy falls down. The girl falls down. It's way more worse for the girl than it is for the boy. Why? They both fell down. Oh, because he's a boy. He shouldn't be crying. He needs to get up. And that to me is like, that's wrong, because later on in life, it doesn't help them to not be in touch with their feminine side. I'm not saying that men need to be 100% feminine, but there needs to be both sides of it. You know what I mean? They have to be able to be masculine and they have to have a feminine side to understand a female in general. Or their partner in general.
The reason why boys need to learn to stop crying and be a man, because the reality is how society views men and how we get treated as a man is different. So
and again, we're going back to ego.
We're
going back to ego, and then the kid, like Alfred says, turns out to be a jerk.
No, yeah,
the man turns out to be a jerk of a man.
Yeah, I know you can be a jerk, but there's also masculine men who are not jerks. I'm just saying is. Men
I mean, it's probably different for Alfred because his situation with a man, he's like all confused, like a feminine, masculine energy. If
a man is feminine,
I got a really good standpoint.
If a man is feminine, there are consequences to it. Just like if a woman is masculine, there are consequences to it.
Right, but what is it like in your experience, Alfred? Like in your situations.
So what I want to say. First and foremost, I do want to get away from the idea that a vulnerable man is a feminine man. Vulnerable does not equal femininity. That is not right. That is not true.
I agree.
A masculine man can be vulnerable.
Yes.
To me, when I hear vulnerable as a because personally, I feel that in my own skin that I am a masculine man.
He's like, I'm the dominator.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, just because I am a masculine man does not mean that I'm not vulnerable.
You're the leader.
When I hear vulnerable, I hear that I'm understanding. I hear that I'm able to understand where you come from, where they come from, and fully understand what a situation is. To me, vulnerable is, just like you guys were saying, I'm able to take my ego, take a step back, and chill out, figure out what the fuck is going on, and then I can interject and put in my 2 cents. So I want to say masculine and vulnerable they're not like polar opposites. You can be masculine and can be very vulnerable. Now, what I think going back to that TikTok of that girl speaking is saying what that sounds like to me, what she was talking about is if a guy is like her boyfriend asking her, where do you want to eat? And she's like, I don't know. And then the man's like, well, we're going to go eat at here. Now that's the kind of masculine energy I was getting from that TikTok. What she was saying is that she wants a man that makes decisions, that this is what it is, and we're gonna follow this, and we're gonna do this. That's what I got from that video. Rather than, you know what I mean, like, I want somebody who's gonna listen to my feelings, who's gonna understand. Like, no, that's not what I got from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
What I got was like she wanted somebody who was definite, somebody who's like, we're going this way, we're doing this because we're feeling this way. And then that's what we're doing. And that's what I feel like she was saying. You know, she was saying that she wants, just like Karen. Karen was saying that even though she is an alpha female, she also wants an alpha male. You know what I mean? She wants somebody to tell her it is what it is when it is what it is.
I want someone to tell me, get ready and be ready.
Yeah, every woman wants that.
That's that masculine energy that girl, that TikTok was talking about.
But that doesn't mean that he can't be vulnerable. See, you, how you're describing yourself, your core is masculine. Yeah. But you are not leading with your ego. You are leading with your masculinity, not your ego. There's a difference. So you are,
I'm gonna say, like, to be honest, like if I was asked, hey, what do you want to eat? And if I say truly, I don't know where you want to eat. And if they say, I don't know, boom, I'm picking the place and we're going to go eat where I want to eat.
Yeah,
if you don't like it, too bad, so sad. You're going to like it after you order our food. Because you
had an opportunity.
You had your chance to speak up. And when I gave it back to you, you say you don't want it. Boom. This is what we're doing. We're doing this right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're going to want to eat off my plate anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, that's masculine energy. Like, I feel like me giving you the other chance to speak up again, right, is being a gentleman, right? I'm just being a gentleman and being like, all right, are you sure? You know what I mean? But after you say, you know what? I don't really care. When I pick the place, I'm picking it and we're going there and that's what we're eating. Even though you say no, you're still going to eat off my plate. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what she was talking about. Like just because you are vulnerable does not make you feminine. You're vulnerable because you're understanding and you're still masculine and you can still take in what the other person says. But at the end of the day, you make the decision. You make the decision.
And let me tell you, a man who's masculine and is not leading with his ego and is able to be vulnerable is a hell of a sexy man.
Girl, where they at? Because I'm looking for you.
He said, holla.
You know?
You're like, Alfred, and my number is?
Yeah. Right. Right. And if you guys are listening, my tag is at Alfred.
All right.
And my number is like
1-800.
You know, shit.
Alfred,
but that's just you know, like that's what I want to. That's all I guess my thing is like, you know, masculine and feminine energy. Like like they do need them to coincide with each other, whatever. But in my own personal experience, like, I usually take the front seat. I usually take the driver's seat in my relationships to where I go at because I'm just that kind of guy. But I also want somebody that can co-pilot and also drive at the same time. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, I want you to drive when I get tired because when I'm not tired, I want to drive. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'll take over.
You want a partner. You want a partner.
I want to walk
someone
beside
who's
you.
taking everything from you.
Yeah,
you don't want someone sucking everything out of you. You want a partner.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can be, you can lead and you can lead and lead your partner. But yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Even though I'm alpha, I want my partner to lead, but I'm going to be that co-pilot with him.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because
and let me tell you, if I want,
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. And let me tell you, even if I say, okay, he says, be ready 8:00, we're going to dinner. But don't get me wrong. If I want something that night, I will say this is what I want. So
right. Hey,
that's a co-pilot. That's a co-pilot.
We gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, what you want to happen, it will happen. But what I want to happen is gonna happen.
Exactly. And for women at least, we don't have to be aggressive in saying it in our masculinity. You can say it in a nice feminine way, baby. This is what, how about what you think, if we tonight go for steak at, Joe's or whatever, however, I'm feeling today, I want to have a steak. There's so many nice ways of saying it. I'm saying, we're going to go to Joe's and that's what we're going to do. A lot. So on women too.
I don't know. That's how I talk.
It's how they project it. Oh, I know. I sugarcoat it and I make it all feminine and all pretty. And then,
Karen is such a good catch right now. Like,
Karen, you're so nice. Karen's so nice. How are you not booed up?
She loves PDA.
Right.
She doesn't talk bad.
I think
all this good feminine and masculine energy.
Karen,
she lets the man take charge. Somebody date her ass.
Karen needs an all Latino panel because then she'll get her man. She'll get her man.
We need a part
way.
2 so we can find her a good man because she's a good catch.
Right. Hey, find her a good man and find me one, please.
You got to come down here, Alfred.
Hey, I've been to Miami only twice. And I love me some Miami, but I'm going to Orlando in 2 weeks. So that's another topic for another time. Let's go.
No worries. So thank you so much for sharing, Alfred. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and everybody. But we've come to the conclusion of the podcast. Thank you so much for all you guys joining in. And thank you so much to all my guests making the time to be on here. I'll conclude the podcast with this. I always ask every single guest, what did you take away from this podcast real quick? What was your takeaway from it? And how can people find you if people are watching this right now, or if they want to slide your DMs, they can know how to find that too. So
they can slide into Alfred's DMs.
That's how we do, Karen. What's your takeaway? And then how can people find you?
My takeaway is just, I think that, it's fine for us to all have our different views. We have to learn to just heal. I think it's just huge. We have to learn how to heal and we have to learn how to understand each other. Communication definitely is huge in relationships. So, and, I love seeing that the rest of the panels is, agreed. Communication is huge. And I think we're lacking that big time within relationships of today. And
how do they find you?
They can find me on IG under KMLM21.
All right. So all those guys out there, start sliding. Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate your feedback.
Thank you. I had so much fun. Thank you for inviting me.
It was a joy to have you on here. Lonnie, same thing. Would you take away?
Well,
people already know how to find you anyway.
Don't find me. No. No, honestly, I think that it's good for people from different backgrounds and different, adversities and different experiences to get together and talk about this stuff, because I think it's important, because everyone is different, and whoever's viewing, whoever's going to watch this, they may be able to relate, to Karen, to me, to Alfred, to you. And I think it's helpful because, you don't feel you're alone or you're in the same situation, or maybe you're not, or maybe you learn something from it. And I think that it's helpful, and communication is key. And I really like the whole 3-month thing. I think that's great. I liked what we talked about. I like how we talked about long distance relationships. I liked how we talking about what we want in the bedroom, because I think that is so important, and people don't like to talk about it. So it was really cool to get on a podcast with like 4 other people that don't give a fuck about talking about our sex life, because that's important, and that's important in relationships for me, and it might be important to other people in their own relationships, and maybe they're going through the same struggles, and maybe this could be helpful to them. So I think the things that we talked about, and even having Alfred on and him talking about his own personal relationship and being able to open up about that, I think that's great, because you know what, a lot of homosexual guys don't want to talk about it. They don't want to bring that to the table, and I think that's excellent, because that's shit that we need to know. You know what I mean?
A lot of married guys.
Exactly.
Hey, that's another podcast, another time. Don't even get me started.
Like, no, and honestly, and it's good. It's good to hear your point of view. It's good to hear Karen's point of view, and just getting us all together to talk about it and bring things to light and bring things to the table that other people can actually relate to. And it's hard to find people that are able and willing to talk about their life and their experiences and who they are. So I really appreciated this, and I thought this was a great podcast, and maybe we can have a part 2.
How can they find you?
But you can find me at findingmea808 on Instagram and on TikTok.
All right, and I want to give a special shout out to Alani because I follow her and I see her content. And doesn't matter how many times people try to report her and try to cancel her, she doesn't. She keeps going. So I'm mad respect to her for
A
keep
lot
going,
of haters,
being
a lot
herself.
of trolls. I'll never quit.
People try to cancel me, but I'm still here. I'm still going.
Exactly. No, and that's what I love about Will too, and that's why I always agree to, or I always, whenever he invites me, I love it because you know what? Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own disagreements and whatever, but he doesn't stop. He keeps going. He might ruffle feathers, and it doesn't matter. That's his opinion. You know what I mean? We're all entitled to an opinion, and people are gonna judge, and who cares? We just keep doing what we do.
And to finish up your point, people don't know the difference between love and agreement. I can totally love you and still disagree with you.
Exactly, 100%.
Right? So people don't know the difference between love and agreement, and like they think that just because they disagree,
I think what you do is great. I think what you do is great. You bring people together from different backgrounds, not only Polynesians but whatever else.
All right,
whoever else.
Latinas.
We got Latina in the house tonight, but you do it, and you do it with good intent. You don't do it to be ill, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do it with good intent, and I like that.
No worries, thank you so much. And last but not least, my Toko, Alfred, man.
Yo, my takeaway from tonight is we are all willing and able to date older. But if we date younger, nah, 1 to 2 years max. And that's my takeaway from everybody here, except for Will. I don't know about you, bro.
Hey, no, the younger doesn't matter to me. Younger.
Hey, it's the darker the bear, the sweeter the juice. No. But for a little, yeah. I did take away that I feel like we all, for the most part, have the same understanding as far as maturity in our minds, and that's what it is to date somebody or to consider somebody seriously, is when you consider them mentally. And I think that's what I got from all of you guys, is just to consider somebody that we, mentally connect with, because if you ain't connecting here, you ain't connecting anywhere else. You connect down there though, but that's it.
The good
you can find me, right? Shit. Hey, quit playing. You gonna get. You know what I mean?
No cuddles. No cuddles.
You can find me at Alfred Uihamohaano. Alfred Uihamohaano. It's just me and my brothers all Uihamohaano. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, and you can find me on Facebook too if you willing to look up for it.
How do you spell your last name?
Uiha, M as in Mary, Oha, N as in Nancy, O. Uihamohaano.
That is a lot.
I can send it to you.
Hey,
can you send it to me?
Said. That's what he said. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Too long for me, my guy.
Hey, we all gotta do this round table talk in person, because girl, me and Lonnie gonna have a fucking. Hey, me and Lonnie about to go off, and then Karen,
I'm coming to Colorado, my guy. I need some cold air.
After your daughter's done. After your daughter's done with all her training, come through.
I'm coming through Colorado. I've been there before.
And when I come out to Florida, Karen, I want to see you, girl.
I'm here.
You're a hot mama. All right. You look like you a bad bitch. You know what I mean?
You better be careful. She's a little Latina hot mama.
Hey, it's okay. You got a nephew? You got a nephew for me, or what's up? You know what I'm saying?
I got a whole band of brothers for you.
Oh, here we go. Let's go.
Hey, don't play with me.
All right. No worries. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your feedback.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Everybody that watches and follows me, supports me, support them in their channels and their platforms and everything they do the same way you guys do it to me. So thank you so much. I'm going to end this live. We do this every single Saturday. So if you didn't watch this episode, definitely catch on the next episode. And we'll definitely do a part 2 to respond to Lonnie. Definitely.
So fun.
In the future, we'll plan it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get to update everybody's date life and see where everybody's at.
Perfect.
But anyways, thank you so much. And I know it's getting late for Karen, so I'm definitely gonna end this so that we get some
2
get back
a.m.
to get back to
Oh my
good sleep.
gosh. Thanks for hanging in
All
there,
right,
Karen.
bye guys. Bye guys.